Do you know all the Simpsons? Are you stupid like a fox? Is he coming up Millhouse? Where's the guy with the missing arm?
Welcome to the... it's always the way, isn't it? Welcome to the... what's our podcast called? What's our podcast called again? Is that what we're doing?
Cracker Factory Podcast. Yeah.
Welcome to the Cracker Factory Podcast with you're with your hosts, Jared and Isaac. That's what you're saying, Isaac.
That's me. Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize that's what we were doing, was it?
We've been doing that for the last 2 episodes. We're 5 episodes in now, Isaac, and it is just never getting better. It's just staying the same.
I just don't think we've worked out, we're on the same rhythm or anything like that.
There's latency, ladies and gents. There's latency. So it's, bear with us. You can probably hear
not us being incompetent.
Yeah, 100%. And you can probably hear my wine glass clinking. I've got the Angove Special 2018 Merlot, and you know what? We want to say thanks to our friends at Angove for donating and sponsoring the show. We couldn't do this without you. Do you have anyone to thank before we start the show today, Isaac?
I forgot to get myself a drink, but if I was to be drinking, I would be drinking the James May Gin in the London Drizzle variety with a soda and slice of lemon.
Good friend of the show. A great friend of the show, actually, James May. The stories about
Richard Hammond, but Jeremy Clarkson, we're not
so much.
Don't approve.
Yeah, and they're aware of that. Our friends James and Richard are both aware of that. He's, we'll move on, but
and they're respectful about it too. They'll come around, but they won't invite their friend Jeremy, which I appreciate.
Yeah. So thanks, gentlemen. Shout out to you guys. I hope you're doing well up there in the in England. Or do they live in England?
Yes, yeah. Well, somewhere in the UK. It's all the same thing, really.
Yeah, right. Yeah, to our English mates. Isaac, what have you been up to this week? Well, you've been watching the episodes, I imagine.
Yes, I have. In fact, I watched all of the episodes that I needed to watch, which is a nice change.
That's good because I haven't, so I'm going to be ad-libbing a little bit here. But but for the listeners that didn't,
for clarity, we should say that yes, we have watched every episode.
We have watched the episode. Yeah, okay, yeah. That was a little joke for my comedy fans out there. The people that like jokes.
You should get used to it. There is quite a lot of humor in these podcasts.
Quite a lot. But we started with we finished off with season 2, episode 15, which is "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" And we're moving on. We're doing great episode. Oh my goodness, what a great episode. But we're moving on. Episode 16 is where we're starting off today. We're talking about Bart's dog gets an F. So we're up to season 2, episode 16. If you're watching along at home, ladies and gents, maybe I'll throw it to you first because I do a lot of talking. I said this last episode of the podcast, but what did you think? Bart's dog gets an F.
I mean, firstly, I just like the episode title, right? It's a good callback title for the Bart gets an F1. So I do appreciate that. I mean, I like this episode. I think, not to get too far ahead, but it is one of the better episodes of what we've got left of this season. I actually quite enjoy this one. It's got quite a good few moments in it, I reckon. And some ones that made me genuinely laugh out loud quite a bit.
Wow. It's one of the better ones.
You're going to disagree, aren't you?
Wow. Now, for those listeners, and those that are new to the podcast, wow, this wine's really hitting me. Those that are new to the podcast, rather, we have a rating system. So after each episode, after we've talked about each episode and said what we liked about the episode and talked about sort of the plot of the episode, we give a rating, and our ratings are they go from S to we're going to call it D, but it's actually rock bottom is our lowest rating. So we've got S, which is Sue Diddly Hooper. We've got A, which is awesome to the max. We've got B, which is bad to the bone. We've got C, which is choose not to watch. And then we've got D, which is actually rock bottom. And rock bottom is basically you're not going to watch it. It's just awful. And
basically, avoid it at all costs. It comes on the TV, you're turning it off, you're skipping it, or you're watching it on Disney Plus or on your vintage DVDs.
That's it. And with that being said, let's move. Let's talk about the episode. So Bart's dog gets an F. So what I like to do before we start is I like to read the Disney Plus sort of synopsis of the episode, the one
See if
liner.
it's actually even remotely accurate.
even a little bit accurate, and then I'll read you what I've got from my records. So Disney Plus says Bart's dog gets an F. Bart's dog is sent to obedience school after he destroys Homer's expensive new sneakers. What do you reckon? Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the one sentence synopsis, I suppose.
It's the one sentence synopsis, but I don't know if you realised how long it took to get to this aspect of the episode where the dog destroys the sneakers.
It does take a while. Yeah, there's a bit of a setup for this episode.
It's a massive setup, but we'll get into that. I have got this. So the Bart's dog gets an F. 23.9 million viewers, by the way, like initial viewers. That's pretty good, like compared to the other episodes. It's gone up. March 7, 1991, a long time ago. Jim Reardon, John Vitti. Homer becomes fed up with Santa's little helper, who continually destroys things. He says he will get rid of him unless he goes to obedience school. Bart, Lisa, and Maggie have grown to love the dog and promise to train him. Which, I don't know if Maggie promised that at any stage. Sorry, I digress.
Maybe not verbally, but you could tell.
You could tell, okay, yeah. He's got that way with Maggie. Santa's little helper does poorly there, as Bart is unwilling to use a choke chain. The night before the final exam, Bart and Santa's little helper play on Lisa's suggestion, thinking it will be their last few hours together. This bonding breaks down the communication barrier, meaning Santa's little helper can now understand Bart's commands, thus passing obedience school, much to the family, except Homer's, happiness. Meanwhile, Lisa has the mumps. Wow, that's at the end of the synopsis. Lisa has the mumps. Interesting.
I think that was happening the whole time. It was just a lot of nothing to get her to, I guess, do the main part of the episode where the blanket gets destroyed. So.
Oh yeah. So the B story and the A story line up. That's good writing. Cool. What did you say? Maybe we'll go through how does the episode start. Starts with some. Sorry, you go.
Well, I was going to say, it mostly starts with Santa's little helper being a chaos and a nuisance across town, going to Quickie Mart, swimming in people's pools, some old bat calling Homer.
Mrs. Winfield, classic Mrs. Winfield.
I did actually like this scene with Homer screaming down the phone, "It's not my dog," as he's walking closer and closer to the window.
And the dog's gone. Yeah. So he's not my dog. So yeah, that's funny. But the whole episode starts
delivery.
with a random red-headed paperboy and Homer fighting the dog for the newspaper. So Homer, some random red-headed paperboy throws a newspaper. Homer goes to get it, and the dog fights with Homer and ends up ripping out the middle of the page, so Homer can't read it. Which introduces the viewers, us, to the hilarity. The hilarity that the dog is just a nuisance and really, really just destroys everything. Really annoying. So they do this perspective thing in this episode. It's really interesting. It's like a Rugrats thing. Do you remember the Rugrats?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the Rugrats when like the dog is like. Yeah, the dog Spike like looks like you're getting his perspective, like you're seeing it's like a first person view from the dog's perspective, and everything's black and white or grey. I don't know what they call it, like monochrome or whatever, and everyone's talking in like Russian or something, like going like what's up, like you're like what the hell is going like Simlish or whatever. But that's what's happening. So I looked this up, right? Okay, I actually looked this up. I did some research. I said to Isaac before the show, ladies and gents, that I didn't really put as many detailed notes about these episodes for whatever reason. I think I was in a rush, but I did do this. I looked this up. I looked up whether dogs see what they see. Because I'm interested because I thought it changed. Did you think it had changed in terms of what dogs see?
Well, they're meant to be colorblind, aren't they? So
well, they see like they have less cones or something, so they see like less color. But I looked it up. I looked it up, and they've got this like picture. If you look up right now on the internet, how do dogs see? There's a picture on the internet, and it's like on one half it's like how a dog sees a thing, and on the other half it's how a dog sees how a dog sees a thing and how a human sees a thing. You know what's funny? To me, they look exactly the same.
Oh, because you're already colorblind?
Yeah, they look exactly the same. I'm like, bro, I see exactly what a dog sees. I have dog eyes. Bro, it looks I don't see a difference. There's like maybe a little less shadow, but that's it. Like the shadows of things are still there. It's just like a little, the shadows are small. They look exactly the same. I'm like, so they don't see black and white.
Can't tell the difference at all. Yeah.
Whether they speak Russian, I don't know. How can you prove that? I have no idea.
Well, might be bilingual dogs out there. Who knows?
Yeah, so let's assume they speak Russian. Yeah, let's assume. So anyway, and then Lisa's unwell. So Lisa becomes unwell. And Marge rings up Dr. Hibbert, who sounds a little bit different in this episode. But okay, my question to you is this, right? How did Marge get... So Marge rings Dr. Hibbert while he's at home with his family eating dinner. He says to Marge, how did you get this number?
Yes.
How did
then
she...
It changes the perspective so you actually don't see the answer, right? Like,
Yeah, that's like the joke, I imagine. Is that the joke or is that just like lazy writing?
maybe lazy writing, hey? Because we're just seeing it from Hibbert's end and he just says, oh, I see, or something like that.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, probably lazy writing. How did Marge get the number? Let's postulate. Let's think. How did she get the number?
back in these days, business cards only had home phone numbers on them. And so she got his business card.
No, but did doctors have business cards?
Well, back in these days, wasn't there a phone book that told you everyone's address and phone number?
Well, you didn't have to be in there. You could be private. But that was a thing, wasn't it?
You had to like choose to not be in there, right? It wasn't you chose to be in there. You had to elect to not be in there.
Wow, you're right.
You could just dox people at any point back in the day.
Do you reckon that's still a thing? Do you reckon you can still get a phone book? Is that a thing? Probably not.
I don't know. I haven't seen one.
I guess the internet's a giant phone book.
People rip phone books in half. Those are the only known phone books I've seen.
Yeah, that's not a thing though, is it? You can't rip a phone book in half.
Well, I can't, but those strong dudes can.
Can they?
Yeah.
Have you been watching the Olympics recently?
I have been, and the new national treasure ray gun.
Oh my gosh! I want to know your perspective on this. Let's pause. Let's not even pause. Let's just talk about it right now.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Tell me about ray gun. What do you think? What was your opinion?
It has to be a piss take. It has to be.
It can't be a piss take. Like she is a. Here's the thing. She is a PhD professor in breakdancing. Okay, it's sociology, the sociology and the politics of breakdancing, right? Now, who spends, you know how long a PhD takes? You need a master's or you need a bachelor's degree first and then maybe a master's and then a PhD.
Masters, yeah.
Well, you need honors at least, right? So that's like 4 years plus the PhD. That's like 10 years of study to learn breakdancing. Like, is she really taking the piss? Is that, I don't know. It's just interesting.
I reckon for whatever reason, due to Australian Olympic and breakdancing politics, somehow she's the most qualified to go, even though there would be people that are objectively better at it than her.
Let me break this down for you.
She's significantly older than everyone else that's there. So I think she looked at it and went, I'm not physically as talented as these 16-year-olds. So we had this conversation and I'm going to do something funny.
No, I don't reckon she did. So we had this conversation, and Isaac said to me, because I said to Isaac basically, like, it's the cringiest thing I've seen. Is she being for real? I don't reckon she's being for real. And Isaac said, I don't agree. Like, she's just taking a piss out of like it's the dumbest sport.
Sprinkler.
Which I like. You're right. Okay, she did the sprinkler. She did the Mexican slug. She did the Peruvian tapeworm. Like, she's done all these crazy, like, things which are like
kangaroo.
The kangaroo, Kazakhstani kangaroo. Like, she's done all these things, right? But I reckon she just has no self-awareness to realize that that's terrible. Here's the thing, right? This has come to light recently. Now, this is something you probably haven't heard. But I read an article recently, Fox Sports. So take this with a grain of salt.
Well, yeah, trusted source of sports.
Of course, someone hit me up recently and with a thing saying this. They said there is no World Breakdancing Federation or whatever to run a qualifying process. The IOC, right, the world sort of like committee, right, approached the World Dance Sport Federation, which is primarily a ballroom dancing organisation, right? The Australian affiliate organisation in Dance Sport Australia, which is also primarily a ballroom dancing organisation. Despite never having anything to do with breakdancing, found itself in charge of the breakdancing qualification for the Australian Olympic team. Yep. So they got in contact with Ray Gunn, the self-proclaimed breakdancing expert who has a PhD in breakdancing, or the politics of breakdancing, which that's not even a PhD in the physical art of breakdancing. It's a PhD in the politics surrounding what is breakdancing, I imagine. Ray Gunn knows exactly what they should do. Partner with the Australian Breakdancing Association, and they will run your qualification for you. Now, here's the thing, Isaac. The Australian Breakdancing Association was founded by, guess who?
Hopefully Ray Gunn.
It was founded by Ray Gunn and her husband and has about 20 members. Unsurprisingly, they run the qualifier that gets 15 entrants, and Ray Gunn is selected as the women entrant and her husband is the coach.
Yeah.
She's not taking the piss. She's 100% legit about it. She just had every means by which to get into the Olympics, and then I think she thought it was just going to go better. I don't know.
Well, maybe the other Australian competitors really just weren't that good anyway. So rather than sending them there, they get knocked out on the first round, go there.
Did you see the
scene.
Nah, did you see the guy? The guy was unbelievable.
Was he?
The Australian dude was great, like some 16.
I watched the Olympics through the memes.
Okay, yeah, I just watched it because it was on TikTok. Everyone's posting the dude being like, he's trying to, bro's like spamming all the buttons just to like put some pride back on Australia for breakdancing. And I'm like, yeah, legit. Like he's doing all these crazy flare things and all the spinneroonies and whatever he does. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like the only thing that makes it interesting to me, like makes me think like she's serious, is that she didn't spend all this time just for one piss take of a dance like that. You know? She didn't spend all this time to do that. It's a lot of years to be wasting.
I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty funny payoff.
Okay, let's just, like, you got a house. Sorry. You've got a life you can live. You can go and have kids, have a house, enjoy your life, go on holidays. Yeah. She's like, nah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the absolute piss. I'm going to literally.
She's on holidays. She's still in Europe.
Yeah, good point.
She didn't come back with the rest of the Olympians.
No, good point. As I was saying that, I realised you're right. She's in Paris having a taxpayer holiday.
Yeah. Mate, maybe this is just con.
Maybe this has worked out for her.
An awesome holiday.
Yeah, maybe this has worked out for her. I don't.
And
you're right.
Did some kangaroo hopping and writhing around on the ground, and
so
now she's
funny.
like a national treasure. So.
No, well, people are taking the piss out of her. Like it's got to be taking a toll. Like people are saying, like a lot of people are upset, man. A lot of people are upset.
Yeah,
I think it's hilarious. I don't care either way. Like. Do what you want.
I think it's very funny. Not that I would personally do that if I got given the chance, but it's very funny.
It is pretty funny. Sorry, back to what we were talking about. Oh, The Simpsons.
Yes,
that's right.
The Simpsons.
Yeah, right. Dogs here, Russian. It's Sylvia Winfield. Right. I was going to ask, did she die? So the dog escapes or whatever and starts, running riot. And Sylvia Winfield, this old bag, rings up Homer and says, your dog's in my pool. And Homer's like, my dog is on a leash. I'll tell you for the last time, my dog's on a leash, you old bag, rah, 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 whatever. My thing is this, right? Sylvia is this haggard old woman who's mad as. What happens to her? I was going to ask you that, but then I realized she's in a later episode again.
Oh, is she? Oh.
She's in one of the later episodes in this season.
What beloved Simpsons characters have died?
Died. If you guessed Sylvia Winfield, you're wrong. She was not beloved at all. Ned is a dog guy. Oh yeah, so Ned comes by. So Homer goes to collect the dog, walks the dog back. Ned runs into Homer. He's in his new Assassins. They look like these shoes that I had in high school that had like.
I actually really wanted Assassins as a kid. They're just.
Were they real? Were they real things?
Are they real? Yeah, I don't know.
Probably.
It feels like something Nike or Adidas would do, right? Like,
yeah, Adidas Assassins. I feel like Adidas Assassins make sense, but
what are those other ones, like the ones that made those big Astro Boy shoes?
Oh, no, they were Kanye's shoes, weren't they? Weren't they Kanye's shoes? They're like Yeezy bloody moon boots or something.
Yeezy is just Adidas, isn't it? No, there was that other one, I don't know, whatever that other dumb brand that makes dumb shoes, like the big Astro Boy shoes and the
I can't
garbage bags on your feet.
Write into crackerfactorypodcast@gmail.com if you have any insight onto the Astro Boy boots, ladies and gents. Did you actually like look at the legitimacy of these shoes, the Assassins, or just like the practicality of them?
Like the features that he lists, like a water pump and
water pump in the tongue. What the hell is a water pump?
No, there was, what were those shoes? They're the basketball shoes that did have a pump in the tongue, but it was like it would pump some airbags somewhere.
Oh
in the shoe.
They were pump up. I'm pretty sure John Cena used to wear them in WWE.
Oh, really?
Like he'd pump up his shoes. Why did they do that? Was like back in the early 2000s. That was so stupid. Velcro.
Like the gimmick culture, right? People put watches in their shoes and all sorts.
Yeah, true. Velcro straps, I guess that was cool at the time.
Yeah,
a built-in
shoes.
A built-in pedometer, which is what does a pedometer? Work that out.
That's the thing that counts how many steps you're taking.
Does it?
Something that your phone and your watch and anything else does these days. Yep.
Yeah, true. Okay. Reflective sidewalls. That's probably the funniest feature.
Well, lots of shoes have that, yeah.
Do they? Reflective reflective
Or
as
just
in they
reflective
mirror
strip.
things? Oh,
They're not mirrors, but just those things that light up when, headlights hit them. So
because I feel like that's
people
if
don't
you
get
had
run over in the night.
there's a skit in that if you had reflective like mirrored shoes and you like let's just say you're like I don't know a crime fighting I don't know Astro Boy and you've got these crazy shoes on and they've got mirrors and you're hiding behind a wall from like some antagonist in this movie and you put your shoe out to see what's going on out there. That's pretty
I thought
funny.
you were going to make a different joke about like reflective shoes on the top of your shoe and putting them under people's dresses or something.
Oh God, Jesus
I
Christ!
thought that's where you were going with that.
That's dark. That's morbid. That's gross.
Well, not morbid, but definitely perverted.
It's perverted. Yeah, I said the wrong word, but yeah, that's pretty
Hey,
gross.
if you're a pervert and listening to this, don't take my idea, you sick.
Write that note in. But also,
yeah.
write into the if you're a pervert, write into the Cracker Factory podcast at crackerfactory@gmail.com. Let us know what sort of perverted things you've done, and then we won't be repeating them on air for obvious reasons. You know what? Actually, don't write in. I feel like it's going to get us in trouble.
From you.
Yeah, we don't. And then little vanity license plates. These shoes have vanity license plates. That's hilarious.
Well, so many. Both Nike and Adidas offer that on all their shoes now. I think as well.
I feel like douchebags would do that as well.
Yeah, 100%. And they wouldn't even put their real name. They'd put something stupid on there, like Giddy or
Right. Why is it always Giddy? It's always Giddy. Actually, if you're a pervert named Giddy, write into the podcast right now at crackerfactory.com. That's so stupid. Okay. The warped perception as Flanders walks away from Homer is so disturbing. Oh yeah, they do that weird that like sideways thing, but because the sidewalk's like curved, they do like a warped perception as he's walking away. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's like an acid trip.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's some weird perspective. There's one in another episode we're about to go through that's really weird, but we'll get.
I feel like they're trying too hard to be like artsy or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they're just doing different things that I don't think they would do as much in later seasons.
What else did I say? So I don't know why some of these notes I do. Why did I write that down? Lisa's magazines. Why does it? What do you remember the magazines Lisa writes? Let's see if you wrote this down. I like finding out what notes you take.
Wasn't it like Teen Dream, Teen Steam, Teen Stream? I don't know.
Oh, he's good. It's Teen Dream, Teen Scream, and Teen Steam.
Scream. Okay,
Teen
that's a weird
Scream.
one.
We were just talking about how
Steam would definitely be the best one of those, I can imagine.
Teen Dream sounds like it's going to be pretty juicy. I don't know.
I feel like that's going to be like K-pop boys, whereas Teen Steam is going to be like some steamy, hot firefighter boys or something.
True. Yeah, okay. I'm about the Teen Steam then. Homer leaves. Oh yeah, how funny is it? There's a good joke where Homer leaves. I mean, it's a mid joke, but it's better than what's happened so far in the episode. Homer leaves. Why does he leave? Actually, why does he leave? He leaves his workspace. He's like, I got to go. Oh, he's got to get some magazines for Lisa. That's the actual reason he has to leave. Is that really why he leaves? Anyway, Homer leaves to get these magazines for Lisa, and he goes, "Oh, Lenny, cover for me." And he's eating donuts and like lazing on his like thing, and then Lenny goes, "Okay," and then like sits down, grabs a donut,
Takes
goes,
the exact position.
on the seat, and just like starts eating donuts. That's pretty funny. I think Lenny's just delivery is pretty good. Wow. Oh, okay.
Well,
the magazine.
Lisa with mumps and seeing Hibbert and getting the magazines. I was expecting you to ask me about the price of the.
We're not up to that yet.
Assassins.
We're not up to that.
Come on.
He doesn't say the price of the assassins yet, does he?
Oh, he does. Well, when he goes to the shops to get the magazines.
No, that's after that. He gets the magazines first. My first question and my first note is magazines were $2. How much is that in 2024?
Oh, God damn it.
It's actually not that much. It really isn't. You're doing a calculator here.
No, it's got to be something like $4, but $4.40.
Did you calculate that? That's crazy.
No.
$4.42. Wow.
Oh.
Okay,
I
you
didn't
wrote-
calculate that because I calculated how much the assassins were, and I did the mental math backwards and then forwards for the.
What did you get for the? Okay, so anyway, so Homer goes to look at the assassons, and the dude's like, "Oh, that's $125." How much is $125 in 20? I wrote 2023's price because I couldn't get the 2024 calculator. It took too long to
Somewhere
do it.
around $300.
What did you have exactly written down?
I just wrote 300.
Okay, 288.61. Yeah, wow.
Okay, yeah. And
That's
so
ex-
I did that.
that's
back
like-
and then forwards again.
Is $300 expensive? I feel like no, that is expensive.
Shoes. Well, I mean that's USD. So then what's that like?
Oh.
450.
Oh yeah, that's like
AUD.
$450. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, that's expensive. That's really expensive.
Yeah. I mean,
So, like, the-
Nike and Adidas definitely sell shoes that are that expensive, but they're like the super performance ones. So I guess that's what the Assassins are. So it makes sense, I suppose.
The magazines are bloody cheap. $4.42. That's like $8, $9. That's still cheap. Dr. Monroe's, it takes 10.5 minutes to get to the second act. Oh yeah, so right. So anyway, so Lisa has the mumps, and then eventually Homer gets the shoes. They get ripped up and destroyed in the closet. Oh, and Lisa's like starts doing this like what do they call it? Crocheting, sewing, stitching. I don't know. She starts sewing. What do they call it? Do you remember?
Quilting, sewing
Yeah,
it
quilting.
to a quilt. I don't know.
So she starts quilting this like blanket that's like a something that's been passed down through the generations. So she's been doing that while she's sick because Marge wanted her to do it, and that gets destroyed by the dog. He rips it up, and then Homer's new assassins that he buys gets destroyed. They get ripped up, and it takes 10.5 minutes to get to this part of the episode.
Yes, yeah.
It was a long
it took us
time.
26 minutes to get to this part of the episode. So-
Okay, that's a good point, but that's a good point. But even still, dude, like there wasn't enough jokes to warrant it. Okay, let me keep going. So Doctor,
Actually, no. There was some good jokes here.
what did I miss?
Okay, so when Marge finds out the price of the shoes, she's quite upset, and Homer goes, "But what about you buying the smoke detectors?" And we never had a fire.
When's the last time we had a fire? Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like they reused that joke at some point in a later season.
On the TV that they're watching with the stories that Marge and Lisa are watching, there's a quick news report about the babysitter, which was a good little callback.
Was there?
Murderous? Yeah.
I missed that. See, I told you my notes weren't as thorough. I did find the show they were watching. It's just like it's like a dude. It's like
thing.
Yeah, it's like some like one of those like stay-at-home dramas that like love dramas where it's just like she's like, "Stop doing that to me," and it's like, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna keep doing it until you kiss me back or whatever. She goes, "Okay," and they just make love or something. And what the hell is going on? And then Lisa's like, "Are all the shows this good?"
Yeah.
yeah, it's so stupid. Yeah, okay, that was the smoke detector was a good joke. I remember that one. Dr. Monroe. Oh, okay, so they need that canine therapy, and they've got all these ads. Dr. Monroe has Canine Therapy Institute. Again, he does so much stuff.
They really used him a lot in the
They
early
did,
seasons.
because he's like 3 more times the next few episodes.
Yeah.
There was a solarium for dog ad in there too, which is pretty funny. Did you see that ad? Solarium.
No.
It's like the dog solarium. It's something like that.
Did not.
They're stupid. Oh yeah, and then the lady's explaining the choke maneuver to Bart. So Bart goes to this like canine school, and this lady's like viciously like chokes the dogs to like teach them obedience, and Bart doesn't want to do it to Santa's little helper, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
And the lady's like, how you can tell if your dog you're doing the maneuver right effectively? The dog's eyes will cross and the tongue will protrude and change color. It's pretty messed up. I'm like, Jesus
It's
Christ.
awful. But when she first strangles Santa's little helper, and Bart just goes, "Is my dog dead, ma'am?"
Yeah.
Such good delivery.
That is actually a good one. Yeah, okay. True. And Martin's there. What sort of dog does Martin have?
Oh, I don't know, some sort of Shih Tzu poodle thing, shit poodle.
Nah, he has a Saint Bernard. It's like a big fat one with
Does he?
rolls.
Oh, okay.
But,
Sure.
well, that
I
was
just-
pretty sure that was the one that was in front of him. It could have been like diagonally left of him. I don't know.
No, well, I just assumed some sort of pompous dog, but I guess Saint Bernard is also up there probably.
Bit pompousy.
Isn't that what like the Obamas had? Did they have a Saint Bernard? I don't know. Maybe the Queen. No, she had
Yeah,
Great
I think the
Danes.
Queen might. No, the Queen had corgis.
I thought she had Great Danes as well. I don't know.
Actually, maybe she had
famous
both.
dogs.
All British ones. Oh yeah, one of the shows the next show that Lisa and Marge are watching while she's sick, and the dude there's like the priest guy runs in. He goes, they're like, Father McGraw, I thought you were dead, and he's like, I was. That's a good joke.
Exactly. Like, that's the kind of crap TV that was on when you stayed home instead of going to school. You had to watch that shit.
Was that or Ready Steady Cook? Ready Steady Cook was absolutely slapped, but those shows
Go
sucked.
Stop and yeah.
Go Stop. It's absolute banger. The massive cookie was $1. Oh yeah, that cookie was $1. Damn. So prices were cheap back then. Although we did talk about inflation, I guess.
Cookie.
I guess that would have been like $2.21, right? Right now.
Something like that.
Still
Yeah.
cheap.
For a massive cookie like that, yeah, Subway charges you more for their shitty cookies.
Yeah, true. Oh yeah, the dog drinks out of the toilet. I've never had a dog drink out of the toilet before. I've had 3 dogs in my life, and I've never had any of them drink out of the toilet. But it seems to be like
access to the toilet.
I guess. I don't regularly Yeah.
You didn't make sure the door was closed or something, so they couldn't.
Yeah. I wasn't like trying my best to make sure they didn't go into the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah.
But I never saw it. Maybe they did it when I wasn't looking. Oh yeah, Homer consoling. So the blanket thing, the quilt that Lisa and Marge are working on gets destroyed. And then Homer's consoling Marge, being like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "Oh, Marge, honey, this thing, these things happen.
Just a thing, yeah.
It's just a thing, or whatever." And then he like turns around and goes, "My cookie!" And he starts blowing up, being like, "This is the worst thing that's ever happened," or whatever. That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, my notes were Homer is of course destroyed about the cookie.
Homer is of course destroyed about the cookie. And then during the class, as they're teaching the dogs like to restraint or whatever, they like do the beef Wellington. She gets this like full beef Wellington. It's got like a full mushroom on it.
Yeah, is that a beef Wellington? It kind of just looked like a bit of steak.
No, it was a bit of steak. It was a bit of steak with a full mushroom that looked like it hadn't even been cooked.
Do we not understand what beef Wellingtons are?
I thought beef Wellington was like, I've watched a lot of Gordon Ramsay, and I feel like a lot of like Kitchen Nightmares. No, Kitchen Nightmares was the other one. Hell's Kitchen. They do beef Wellington as like the main. And isn't it like covered, like a beef Wellington is inside, I don't know, like a pastry or something, isn't it?
Or I thought they had like bacon and then pastry or something. I don't know. But that's not what I thought a beef Wellington was. Maybe it just means something else in the US.
Yeah, maybe. Write in if you're a beef Wellington fan from the US.
Yes, show us your beef Wellingtons, please.
Yeah. I feel sick.
This is where like Homer and Marge decide they want to get rid of Santa's little helper, and they sort of give Bart the ultimatum that if he doesn't start doing well at the dog school, they're going to have to get rid of him.
They have to put him down. I mean, get rid of him, yeah.
Jesus.
That would have been morbid.
Way more dark, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, he ends up graduating because, I don't know, the dog just learned all these commands in like 2 seconds. As Bart was like crying because he's like, "Oh, I need to spend my last," Lisa's like, "Don't spend your last night with him, really sad and upset and, making him do all this, torturing him.
Yeah.
Make him learn stuff. Just like, enjoy it."
Have
and
fun.
he's like, have fun. Yeah. And he plays ball or whatever, and then he starts crying, and then the dog he's like, "Why can't you just sit?" And the dog sits, and he's like, "Oh, beg." And the dog starts begging or whatever and does all these things. So I just thought, I don't know, that's just a dumb way to end the episode. And then after that,
You mean it's sort of like an ass pull that he just all of a sudden learns?
well, it's just an absolute cop out, because how does he all of a sudden just learn how to do this thing when he couldn't do it every other day they're at the class? Yeah, I just said it didn't feel like everything worked out like very conveniently. I don't know.
At the last minute, yeah. Like at the 11th hour, it sort of just happened somehow. I don't know. I guess Simpsons is always a little bit like that, I suppose. But, it's a cartoon. It doesn't have to be 100%.
Yeah, but this one
realistic or whatever, but-
this one didn't do enough to warrant it, to deserve just a cop-out ending. It had to be really good otherwise. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Oh, Martin wasn't at the graduation ceremony, weirdly enough. I don't know why.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
Well, I just looked around. I couldn't see him, but I did look very quickly. So, what did you think? I don't know. What did you think of the episode?
I feel like it had enough good jokes in it for me to actually really like it. Like there's a part where they're sort of talking about getting rid of the dog, and Lisa gives a speech about not abandoning people and looking after family. Basically, is the sentiment. And Homer says, "Oh, if they're gonna pull the plug on me, I want you in my corner, sweetie," which I thought was really funny as well.
Yeah, true. I do remember that. Oh,
And
dude.
there's a frame right at the end of Santa's. Well, it's telling you about like what the dogs did. As like one dog died or something, and then it does Santa's little helper, and it just says bit Bart. Homer didn't mind.
Yeah, at the end, yeah, Homer
That
didn't
made me
mind.
laugh
Yeah.
quite a lot.
That was funny. Oh, yeah, because they're doing the graduation thing like they do in Coach
Yeah.
Carter at the end, whereas like
Yeah, what they
this
did
dog
after
went on to do this. Do you want my verdict?
Yeah, all right. I reckon you should go first, and then I'll try and justify my verdict to you.
Okay, you're not going to like this.
Yeah, I know.
I put it at rock bottom.
Are you kidding me? Actually?
I
rock
swear to
bottom?
God, I'll send you a photo of my thing. It's
I thought it was
legitimately.
going to be like at least a C.
I put it at rock bottom.
Holy.
That's bad, isn't it? It's very
I
bad.
gave it an A.
Wow.
'Cause, not S tier, not amazing, but I would definitely watch this episode again because I laughed at quite a lot of those jokes. The bit Bart Homer didn't mind made me laugh out loud. I thought it was so funny.
Life's going really well for you at the moment. Jesus.
Yeah,
Gee,
ever
you're in a
the
very good
optimist.
head. Yeah, I was going to say, far out. Dude, I thought it was trash. Maybe like one good joke. The smoke
my
detector
God.
joke was good. Dude, I can't justify moving it up to a B. I actually can't.
No.
Okay, how do we do this?
All right, this is your gimme. So how far do you want me to come down? Where are you comfortable? So you're telling me you wouldn't watch this episode again, like intentionally?
Refresh me. S is unbelievable. A is awesome to the max. It's good, really good.
Would watch it, would
Happily.
choose to watch it. Yeah.
What's B? What are we looking at for B? Bad
B
to the
is
bone.
like, I don't know, say you're watching Disney Plus and it's the next episode on and you go, oh yeah, and you'll let that one play. Like you like it. The next one is C, so you'd say like, oh, I'd probably skip that episode. But then rock bottom is I would actively never watch that episode ever again.
I think I'm going to go C. I think it's a C.
Wow. All right. Yep. This is your gimme. I'll come down to a C for you.
Okay, I think I do. I just can't. It's not that good. Although to be fair, I feel like this list of episodes for the next little while, this whole podcast is going to be pretty low. So, I'm happy. Okay, I'm happy to go B only because I've probably got some other ones that are stinkers too.
There are some absolute stinkers here, but I reckon to me, I thought this was like the best one of what we've got
Okay,
to come.
if you thought this was the best one, let's go B. I think that's fair.
Okay, all right.
Let's go
all
B
right.
because there's some bad ones.
Yeah, there's some shockingly bad ones. Really awful. All right, episode 17, which is episode 2 for us today, but episode 17.
Yeah, season 2, episode 17, Old Money. Grandpa loses Disney Plus. Grandpa loses his love, leaving him with a heavy heart and a heavy wallet from the money in her will.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah I suppose.
Yeah. This is the viewership went down 21.2 million.
Maybe you're right. Maybe everyone hated.
Everyone hated the previous one. I reckon. Must have. Grandpa falls in love with a wealthy woman named B. Simmons.
Wealthy. Let's talk about that.
On B's birthday, Grandpa tries to celebrate it, but he is dragged away by Homer. B dies that night, and Grandpa blames Homer for causing him to have missed her last moments. After the funeral, Grandpa receives her fortune of $106,000. B's ghost appears, and she tells him to forgive Homer and spend his money on a worthy cause. That's
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I felt like this one had a few more jokes. So,
You liked this more than the last one.
hold on. I'm just gonna skip ahead to my little verdict just to see what I wrote.
No. Literally, my first note for this episode. Oh God, this is going to be a stinker. Let's get it over with quickly.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Let's talk about it. So it starts with they're visiting Grandpa, and we find out that they, being the Simpsons, are visiting Grandpa. You know, the main characters of the show. And
The Simpsons, yes.
yeah, the Simpsons. And we find out that they visit Grandpa every third Sunday of the month, which is very nice of them. Grandpa's home life looks miserable. But they decide what happens. They decide that they're gonna take Grandpa to something nice because they feel bad. So like from now on, we're gonna do something good next time. So they see the Discount Lion Safari, which is, dude, that's a good joke. Discount Lion Safari. Tell me what. Okay. Firstly, tell me what you see at a Discount Lion Safari. You see the word discount. No one has discount at the front of Lion Safari in any place ever, unless you live in South Africa. Right?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Discount Lion Safari. What are you expecting? How is it more discounted than any other Lion Safari? Too?
Yeah, what do you have to compare it to?
Yeah, and what are the cost-cutting measures if it is a Discount Lion Safari?
Well, I mean, when we actually see them go there, which is obviously a little bit further in the episode, but they're driving their own car. I think.
They're driving their own car, but they're
their car and their jeeps or whatever.
They're driving their own car, but they're feeding the lions.
Safari.
No, but there's like 10 lions. There's heaps of lions, like a crazy amount of lions, and they're feeding the lions like zebras.
Yeah, just eating. Well, are they feeding the zebras, or did they actually just catch the zebra themselves?
Well, they live in Springfield, which I guess we don't know what state Springfield is in, but I feel like zebras are in no state in America regardless.
Just amorphous sort of anything they need is there.
So maybe it's so discounted that they've run out of money and they're just like, shit, we're going to have to feed these lions like some of the other animals. The lions are getting hungry.
Pretty sure we did that in like Zoo Tycoon and stuff back in the day. Just
100%. We let the zebras out and the lions out and see if they would mate.
Cost-saving measures.
I mean, isn't that funny? They're feeding lions zebras. That's hilarious. I think that's one of the jokes. I don't know if it's meant to be a joke. Kind of cute
skipped ahead quite a lot here.
I have. So my third note, right, was it's kind of cute that Abe gets dressed up. So he meets Beatrice B when he's getting his pills, and they mix their pills up. He's got arrhythmia, like heart thing, and she's got
real meat cute. Yeah,
she's got something else.
Liver failure.
Yeah, that's right.
Kidney failure, something.
Yeah, one of them. And
I'll tell you what my third note was.
Tell me what your third note
actually, no, wait. You go a little bit further, and then I'll tell you what my third note is. It'll fit better in a couple of moments.
So I thought it was cute that Abe gets dressed up to go on a date down the hall that night. And then these guys, there's like a whole montage of them, like, I don't know. They went out a bunch of times. Actually, one of my notes is this. So there's a montage of them going out to these various places so they can leave the home, ?
Yeah. Well, they're not prisoners, right? They're allowed to go, but it's just where they go to get their drugs and food and sleep.
Well, can't they just get a job and then go anywhere?
Well, it is a retirement village. The idea of being retired is you don't have a job.
Okay, but Abe's disgruntled about having to go to the retirement village, but he can leave anytime he wants.
Well, yeah, I suppose, maybe. But the Simpsons Homer put him in the house, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how a home works.
Okay, if you have any insight into this, guys, write into the Crack Factory podcast.
If you're watching us from a home, please tell us.
Yeah, we'd love to do
prisoners, and do you need to be broken out?
We'd love to do a live interview and maybe a live jailbreak. And Herman's back, by the way. That's my fourth note.
Well, my third note was about the sort of the montage of them falling in love, and it just states, some horny old people making sex noises at each other. I'm very uncomfortable. Which is a thing that happens in this episode.
I don't remember them making sex noises at each other.
I think it's when they're like taking each other's pills. They're at the table and they're going, making noises. It's awful.
Oh, do you want to tip a wrist? Oh yeah, they want to tip. That's gross. My fifth note is, why do they feed the lions zebras? We're there with no context other than why do they feed the lions zebras?
Sorry. We're really speeding through this episode.
I hope they feed the lions other shit like, I don't know, hippos and stuff. Actually, I feel like a hippo would kill a lion. Hippos are strong.
So the context for them being there, Abe's supposed to be at B's birthday dinner or something. But the
that's right.
Simpsons, obviously it's the third Sunday of the month. So they've come to get Abe and force him to do this discount safari thing. And so Abe's missing the party and annoyed and upset with them.
Yeah. Oh, and that's right. Homer's like gaslighting him, being like, oh, it's an imaginary person, this bee lady. And then Abe finds out she dies from Hector. No, what's his name? The old guy? Hector?
I don't know. The paddling guy.
The paddling dude, whatever his name. I'm going to call him Hector for lack of a better name. It's not Hector, is it? No, it's too Latin American. Anyway, whoever it is.
It's more Austrian than that, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, Abe ignores Homer. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Abe starts ignoring Homer, and then he's like, Homer starts asking Abe a question, and Abe's not replying. He goes, oh my God, my dad's gone deaf. No. And then Abe's like, I'm not deaf. I'm ignoring you, you idiot. Which is stupid. And then,
well, if we consider this as like the turning point for when Abe starts, because we've been talking about how Abe doesn't seem like as bad a dad in season 1 and 2, but if we see this as like the turning point for him becoming a real jerk-ass dad from here on,
hold on,
it makes a lot more sense.
Oh, but are you saying the turning point in that this justifies it? This is actually a good justification? Is that what you're saying?
Well, just after this, he just starts acting like more of a dick to Homer, like present Homer. Obviously, we get flashbacks later on where he was a dick to child Homer. But like season 1 and 2, Abe is actually like a fairly reasonable dude.
Well, to be fair, Homer took Abe away from his girlfriend who died on the night that he took him away and didn't believe him. So I'm like, wow, it's pretty cooked. You sort of believe it.
With him.
Empathise with him, yeah.
I mean, this episode is pretty sad, like the disposable nature of old people and hanging out with them out of obligation and all that sort of stuff. Very grim. And the character literally dies, so...
Yeah, and no one actually is that upset about it. It's like, she's dead, by the way.
Yeah. Well, just an old person dying.
Yeah, oh, by the way, she's dead. I felt like that was the whole of COVID. We won't get into that, but anyway. Disneyland. Oh, Disneyland. Did you see that? The Disneyland.
I didn't.
Oh, Lionel Hutz gives... So, B dies. Lionel Hutz comes in. Is it Lionel Hutz?
Yep.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Lionel Hutz comes in and says, she left all of her money to you in the will, which I said, how did B have...
Very wealthy.
Yeah, she's super wealthy.
They use.
Very wealthy, right? She gives all of her money, her $106,000 to Abe. She leaves it to him.
Yeah.
How did she have time to amend her will, by the way? I don't know how.
And also, maybe they just do it daily at the retirement home. One of the activities.
One of the activities. After pill.
But they keep going. Very wealthy, and everyone's $100 and something thousand. Like,
okay, you know what's
that's
funny?
A good payout, but like very wealthy.
How much is $106,000 right now?
Well,
I didn't do the math.
But 200 and something.
Okay, 200 and something.
2 Australian, so that's probably getting close to 400 maybe, which a big chunk of money. But if someone has that, they're not wealthy.
Yeah, no. You couldn't buy a house you couldn't buy a townhouse. You couldn't buy an apartment with 400K in the suburb that I live at the moment. That's how expensive Australia is.
Yeah, like that 400 is not wealthy.
No.
It's just a completely different.
You live in the city of Brisbane. Like, you wouldn't not be able to you'd barely find an apartment for $400,000.
No, you can't.
Yeah, it's like it's almost impossible. So that's crazy. $400,000. To be fair, they live in Springfield. We don't know where that is. Could be anywhere. Could be really anywhere.
Housing, well, yeah, but I mean, everyone. How much would the renovations on the retirement village that they did actually have cost? That would be like hundreds of thousands of dollars of renovations that he did.
No, what did they do? They bought some tables.
Refurbished the whole thing, didn't they? Like
they bought a TV. They bought a pool table.
Oh, but like they did like the side by side, like the whole building sort of got refurbished of the outside at least. Anyway. Oh
yeah, maybe it cost a couple $100K. Oh yeah, Oh, dude, I didn't like a part of this episode. So anyway, Lionel Hutz gives him the check. Like, you've got $106,000. There's only one caveat is you need to spend the night in a haunted house, which is that must have been a joke for a long time. And back in the because this is 1991. They made that joke. Oh yeah. Anyway, so Abe's not talking to Homer. Abe brings up Homer and tells him, "I've got $106,000. You'll never see any of it. Whatever." And then Homer's like crying, saying, "I miss my daddy." Oh God. I have no empathy, or I don't know. Maybe I'm cold, but I just didn't like that at all.
Jared, are these the jokes that justify your episode being higher than the last one?
Are you forgetting that we watched 10 lions eat a zebra in a discount lion safari?
Jared, when the jokes aren't on screen, everyone should be asking, "Where's the jokes? Where are they?
Where are the jokes?
Yo, Goober, where's the jokes? There's nothing here."
Shut up! You're missing all the jokes. When are they gonna get to the fireworks factory?
When are there gonna be some jokes in this episode? The funniest thing was the 10 lions, but even then,
they're eating a zebra in front of the car at a discount lion safari. They're feeding these lions zebras. That's how they're losing all their money. They're buying millions of dollars worth of zebras every year to feed to the lions. Okay, Marvin Monroe has the anxiety line. He helps with maintaining an erection. Oh yeah, that's right. At the end, he's like,
yeah, it just cuts it off before
he cuts it off. He's like, "I can help you if you're whatever anxious. I can help you if you need to maintain an erection." And then he hangs up the phone. Homer, that is. How good they use Grandpa as a nickname. Oh yeah, Abe's on the news or whatever, and they're like, this, they're talking about Abe on the news, and they're like, they put in inverted commas or what do they call them? Like quotation marks, Grandpa Simpson. They're like using it as a nickname. That was a joke. How's that not a joke?
Yeah.
That's pretty. And Kent Brockman does it. Abe Grandpa Simpson.
Yeah.
That's not normal. Okay, so Burns doesn't know Grandpa Simpson until this episode. Oh, yeah. So people start groveling for money, and who starts groveling? Oh, yeah, there's another joke. There's one where it's just like Mo comes in, he goes, what does Mo suggest? Mo's like, now I found this treasure map. It could be just the. Now I'm thinking it's
to some dude's house.
It could be directions to some guy's house. I found it in the bar. I think if we get some men and some shovels, we can start doing it today. And then Abe goes, "It's pretty stupid, but so far you're the front runner."
I guess with Burns groveling for Grandpa, we just get to forget about them being in the war and the
hellfish
and all that sort of
Yeah, so, I mean, if you're not a Simpsons fanatic, you wouldn't know, but Abe and Homer in a later episode know each other from heaps of different places, but they know each other from
Burns, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Abe and Burns. Damn that wine.
Homer should definitely know Abe, I'd say.
Abe and Burns know each other because they were in the war together. They were part of this, battalion team called the Fighting Hellfish.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
It's just and then Burns is groveling to Grandpa, but he's never met Grandpa before, seemingly.
Jared's just saying he hopes someone was fired for that blunder.
I mean, I don't want to be the one to say it, but boy, I hope someone got fired for that blunder. Marvin Monroe's box. What does he do? Oh my God. Why did I write that as a note? What's that note mean? Oh my God, Monroe's box. He is everywhere this season.
We should just post a photo of your notes because I don't know what is going on.
The box. I don't know. Okay, we'll skip that. I don't know what that note is. But Marvin Monroe's in this episode twice doing Oh yeah, Marvin Monroe asks. He asks for some money.
Oh yes, the torture chamber thing. To condition a child. Yeah, he wants to buy a child.
Yeah, so he's there. He's twice in this episode doing different things. The death ray was a good idea. Oh yeah, the death ray. Who suggested death ray? Frank, yeah. Yeah. Some sort of death ray. And Otto drives the oldies. Okay, Otto drives the oldies in a bus. Is that a note? Is that relevant? Well, it is because I've written it down.
He wants to refurbish the bus, doesn't he? Get some sweet decals, or is that a different episode?
No, that's definitely a different episode because all he's doing is driving them around.
But then he suggests, isn't he one of the people that asks for the money to refurb the bus?
Yeah, I think he does ask for money.
I might be getting confused. Anyway, there was a wacky cast of characters asking for money.
For money,
There's
yeah,
some
right.
jokes
So,
for
because
you.
that's some good joke. There's some good jokes in there. One good joke. And then they go to the casino and with all the money, and Abe's like, "Oh, let's just double it or whatever. Let's put it on 41." Oh yeah, there's another joke for you. He goes, "Put it all on 41," and then the dude at the casino's like, "Sir, the wheel only goes up to 36."
Yeah, he goes, "I have a good feeling about that number."
Yeah,
it
that's
only
right.
goes to 36. Put it on 36.
36. I have a good feeling about that number.
That's
then-
probably the best joke in the episode.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's still a bloody good joke. That's like 4 jokes. Nah, I reckon I'm leaning towards this episode already.
All right, you know what? You watch this episode again tomorrow, because if you're going to put it higher than C or something, you have to watch it again.
Okay. Well, lucky. well, let's finish this up. So, puts it on. So, Homer, they fight over the money or whatever, or chips or whatever, and they don't end up putting it on, and then it ends up losing. And Abe's like, "Oh my god, that was a great idea. It was a terrible idea. I'm glad you made me not do that and put all my money on that 41." I actually don't know what his plan was. There's never a point where they sort of say, "Let's go to the casino." They just go to the casino.
Well, he does the sort of, like, he walks around and sees how many people need his money. So he sort of goes, "I don't have enough money to help all these people. So let me just earn a bunch of money by gambling it, and then I can help everyone."
Yeah. But anyway, he looks at his hands, realizes the oldies need help, so he decides to donate the money to the old folks' home. So you go into the old folks' home at the end, and they've got a massive TV, a pool table, a nice dining hall with new tables and chairs and cutlery and stuff, whatever. Where does all that stuff go? I don't know.
Yeah, and how
must have got
come
robbed.
Abe isn't treated really well at the retirement village because of this? You know, in later seasons, we just see him being treated like shit like everyone else.
Someone must have got fired for that blunder.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, so that coming to my verdict, I'll tell you what I gave it. Ready?
I mean, it's kind of sweet that he, spent the money on them. I guess.
It was a nice ending.
Yeah.
At least this episode made sense. The other one was like, oh, the dog just started doing stuff.
Yeah. Wow. So it tied it up.
I gave it a... What did you give it? Should we do it together?
Are you saying you gave it A or you?
No, I gave it A. I'm paused.
Okay.
There was a lack an ellipses at the end of my sentence.
Okay.
Should we do it together?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. C.
Rock bottom. Okay, well,
Wow.
we're pretty close. We're not too far off each other. Like, we're one thing of difference.
But now I have to... I'm the one that has to
Justify
concede
why,
something here. Well, okay.
I'm happy to come up to a C. You came up to a B on the other one for me. But you think this is better than the last episode?
I do.
Oh, my God.
Well, we're at C's now, so they're about the same, I would say.
I think we ended up putting the other one on B, didn't we?
Oh, God. Jesus, yeah. Wow. I feel like this one deserves a
There's
B
no
now.
way I'm bringing this up to a B. I refuse
Wow.
to bring this.
Okay, yeah, we'll go
We
C.
can either bring the last one back down to C or...
I think we... Nah, let's just...
It doesn't work if you think this one was better than the other one.
I think we both need C's.
Okay. Look, I take notes for these things so we can come back with the timestamps, and now I'm going to have to write episode 1 C in my episode 2 notes. Episode.
How did this happen? Why did you give the other one an A? What is wrong with you? Okay. So C and C. That's what I'm calling it.
Episode 2 C. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought
There
the
we
previous
are.
episode was a C, write in and tell us how you think Isaac's wrong.
And
What's a
if
read?
you think Jared's wrong, just don't contact us at all. You will be blocked.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, you'll be blocked. Don't you dare. This is your last warning. Okay. Episode 18 or episode 3 in this podcast, it's Brush with Greatness, right? Marge gets to paint a portrait of Mr. Burns. That's what Disney Plus says. Mm-hmm. They're really working with not much here.
Yeah. I mean, it does take a while to get to that point, and I guess there's not really much else that happens in this episode. It does have one of my, I'd say like one of my favorite guest appearance stars in this episode. I really like the way they do it, but Yeah, kick it off. What did you have notes for this episode?
Oh, I was going to say
story.
before that, it says Marge gets to. Doesn't she choose? Because she also chooses at one point to not paint the portrait.
I guess that she gets the privilege of it from Burns.
She doesn't see it that way. But anyway.
No.
After finding some old paintings she did of Ringo Starr, Marge decides, okay, she doesn't find the paintings. Bart and Homer find the paintings. But anyway, Marge decides to take an art class at Springfield Community College. There she becomes a top student and wins the college art show. Meanwhile, Mr. Burns needs a painting for the Burns Wing and the Springfield Art Museum, the Burns Wing, and asks Marge to paint him. At first, she has trouble painting such an evil man, but then decides to paint him naked and frail. Everyone, even Burns, praises Marge's painting. Meanwhile, Homer decides to go on a diet after being stuck on a water slide during a family outing.
Oh, yeah, there's that whole B plot. Yeah.
Which is, yeah, wow. They were really bad at making those plots tie in together, weren't they?
Well, yeah, this one doesn't really. I mean, they separate at the same point, but then, yeah, they don't sort of come back together, really.
No, I can't even remember how the B story fits into the A story at any stage.
I mean, the B story feeds into, like, creates the A story, but then doesn't end. The B story just continues through the rest of the episode for some reason.
Yeah.
So yeah. Wow. Okay. So episode starts. We're getting an ad for Mount Splashmore from Krusty. I mean, it's his show, but it's just a big ad for Mount Splashmore,
Which is pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what kids shows were. Do you remember like Kids WB? Oh no, you had like Ozstar, didn't you? So you got the good TV shows.
Yeah, Ozstar in regional areas, Foxtel in most areas.
Free TV for us losers was, yeah, like the
For loser areas.
Yeah. It was, hey, look, here's a new show and here's all the toys associated with it. So go buy them now.
No. What about the croon with Krusty? That's pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
So basically they're watching the Krusty the Clown show and there's a Krusty's like doing a live show from Mount Splashmore, isn't he? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, for that whole week or something is the context, and it's the last episode of him being at Mount Splashmore.
Yeah, which is just Krusty's water-themed park or water theme park. And at the end of the show, they do Croon with Krusty and they sing this like, I want to go to Mount Splashmore song with the kids.
Yeah.
Which sounds like the Trucking Convoy song. And then Trucking Convoy.
Yeah, you're right. It does.
And in the ad, it's just like at Mount Splashmore, they advertise nose plug rental and trauma center on premise, which is pretty good.
I'm sure they all do. Every theme park must have some sort of trauma center on premises. But
I actually just reread about the because I'm doing something for my work, and I reread about that story of the Disney, You Live There, Dreamworld disaster.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah, pretty sad.
It's pretty gruesome.
Awful, yeah.
Yeah, that brought me to reading about Kobe Bryant. Anyway, let's move on.
Now, listeners, don't look it up. It's quite sad and it'll ruin your day.
It's quite traumatizing, in fact.
And the show is actually in Brisbane where I am right now. So I did go on a log flume yesterday. So...
And how was
not
it?
the same kind. Well, not significantly less grindy, but it was. It's not the exact same kind of ride, but obviously it does involve some moving gears. So,
okay, could potentially kill you.
I wasn't minced up, so let's thank our Lord and Savior above for not mincing me this day.
Okay, thank you, oh heavenly favor. Homer's bathing suit has a frown on the back, but wouldn't it still be a frown if it actually fit him? So Homer's bathing suit, Marge says, doesn't leave much. They end up going to Mount Splashmore because the kids hassle Homer, and then he's like, okay, we'll go. And Homer's bathing suit is like a smiley face, but it's a big frown on the back, and it's really tight on him. And Marge says, doesn't leave much to the imagination. But the thing is that like, if it was looser, why would it be a smile?
Huh?
Well, this is a really tight bathing suit. So it's like,
Yeah.
let's call them board shorts, right? They're frowns. They're really taut and they're frowns.
I don't know, just where Homer has his buns, sort of pushes it down. I don't know.
Okay. Why would you have a bathing suit with a smiley face on the back anyway?
Get people looking.
Okay.
Let people see your dumpy.
I just wanted to, I wanted you to tell me that. I mean, he is he's dummy thick, so whatevs.
He's a thick boy, yeah.
What was my next note? Oh yeah, then Homer's like walking around with like Homer's actually white in this episode. Did you see that? He's got like a singlet
Singlet
tan.
even though you don't really see Homer wearing a singlet very often.
Yeah, ever. And then his singlet tan, he's like actually fully white, like Krusty the Clown white. And Bart says, Bart says bitchin' going down the slides. That's like the first swear word.
It's like an actual kind of swear word.
Yeah, although I'm pretty sure the lady refers to, in the previous episode with the dog that you liked, lady refers to one of the dogs as a bitch.
Yeah. Pretty sure. You are right. Son of a bitch or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Homer went down the slide, gets stuck in the slide, but he's stuck backwards and his head's facing so he went down. Yeah. Which is weird. And then what else? Tainted
How did they get
Krusty.
the rest of the kids out of the slide? So they
I
sent
don't
a
know.
bunch of kids in after Homer to try and unclog the pipe.
They end up just pulling the pipe out, that section of the slide out with a crane, but there were kids that had gone down. At a water park, how do you think they do it? Like, do they wait for people to, or do they just like send people down when they think it's okay?
I don't know. Yeah, that just must. Well, I mean, has anyone ever actually gotten stuck in a water slide in real life in the same way Homer has? You'd think it has to have happened, but maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. You'd be surprised. Maybe in some of
Maybe
the
they
countries.
just chuck a bunch of bottles of lube down there and someone just lubes them up, you know.
Or some butter or something, like 10 things of butter. Maybe they do.
If they'd done that joke in The Simpsons, Homer would have just eaten the butter as it came down instead of using it to lather himself up.
True. Good point. Like on Team America. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So Krusty's like, there's a bit of not a lawsuit, but there's all this like conjecture about Krusty's stuff being unsafe. And someone brings up the Krusty brand tainted mayonnaise. Did you hear that joke?
Yeah, I did.
Which is a pretty funny joke for all our adult listeners out there. You know where that's going. This is late night listening right now. Homer looks
After Dark special.
Yeah, that's what it is. 18 plus right now. Homer looks fatter than when he was at that water park when he's weighing himself.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it's a perspective thing. I like that Mr. So then anyway, Marge decides to take up art. How does the art thing come about? So Homer decides to lose weight because he gets stuck in the water slide.
So, he's sad for embarrassing the family and he says he's going to go on a diet. Well, there's a good part where he asks them if he's fat and everyone's completely silent. And Lisa says it takes time to prepare a sugar-coated response or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. That's so funny.
Really good.
That's how I feel right now after eating those chips.
You snack more than I do. You snack so much.
Oh my God, it's bad.
So yeah, he decides he's going to go on a diet. So he wants to get his exercise equipment, which is up in the attic where they find the paintings.
Oh yes, that's right. They go up to the attic to get the exercise equipment, find all these Ringo Starr paintings that Marge did when she was like really young.
He's not even the best drummer in the Beatles.
Yeah, literally, he's not the best
Have
drummer.
a crush on him.
Yeah, he's literally like, I just, no one had a crush on Ringo. Although I did watch an old school interview and this lady's like, I like his big nose. I'm like, Jesus. Who does? No.
Well, okay, careful there. I think I've made jokes about that we've had to cut out where I say I'm going to write it down right now. We are at 1 hour and 8 minutes.
I've got one though, so I'm allowed to say it.
Oh,
go on.
Well, then that's fine. No, it's all good. Where I make jokes about you being anti-Semitic and we always cut it out.
Oh, there were a lot of anti-Semitic jokes in there, weren't they? Let's not put two and two together, guys. Let's not do that. That's crazy.
There is a lot of Semitism in is it the next episode with the Lisa's teacher? Yeah, I think so.
Well, we're talking about hold on. We're talking about Mr. Schindler here, aren't we?
Who?
Isn't Marge's art teacher when she goes to the art college named Mr. Schindler?
Oh, he is, yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's pro Jews, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but Lisa's teacher is also Jewish.
So all these teachers are Jewish in the next 2 episodes. That's crazy. What's going on? All these Jewish
what's
teachers
going on?
helping out the world. Well done. So Marge decides to sign up for this class, Painting from Life 2B, with Professor Lombardo. Who I'd say this guy's pretty funny because he just likes everything. Like he's just like he loves Marge's work when she shows the portrait she paints of Fat Homer. But then as he's walking out like of this interview with or like meeting with Marge about getting into the college, he walks past a dude painting like the stair banister and goes, "Marvelous!" to the stair rails or whatever.
Yeah, he sees everything as fabulous art.
But it's like just like the dude's just painting the rails of the stairs like red. Mm-hmm. That's pretty funny.
Just a handrail, and I think there's someone just doing like a street sign or something later as well. And
yeah, he does. Yeah, he's like, I actually wrote that down. But Lombardo, do you know who voice acts Lombardo?
He's a recurring guest star, isn't he? Because he has to be in.
Do you know who else he voices?
Yeah, the movie critic guy, isn't it?
Yeah, and Artie Ziff.
Yeah.
It's John Lovitz.
That's it. Yes, thank you. In Benchwarmers and many other things, but yeah.
Yeah, but he also looks like Kirk Van Houten too in this episode. This Lombardo
bit,
dude, like he has like blue eyebrows or whatever.
Sorry, Mr. Lovitz, you have a fantastic career, and I completely forgot about you. Sorry. Good
That's
friend
all
of
right.
the show.
Good friend of the show, and that's all right. He's actually sending us our next bottle of wine for the next episode. So, thank you, John.
From
Appreciate
his
it.
private vineyard.
Yeah. We know he's rich. The dude painting the sign. So there's a dude. So another guy like is painting a sign. I don't know. He's putting a message on a board. Like he's painting a message on a board. And Lombardo goes past and goes, "Another triumph" about the sign on the wall. He's just like over the top ecstatic about the crappiest things. Mm-hmm. In this episode, Carl has Lenny's voice and says, "Homer Simpson went on a diet." Did you notice that?
No, I didn't notice. God damn it. I always miss that stuff with Carl.
It's literally Carl standing there and he's got Lenny's voice. He's like, Homer Simpson went on a diet. He has one line, but it's Lenny's voice. It's funny. And Burns has what? Burns is like naked in like the first. He's being bathed by Snip Smithers. I don't know how we got to this part. Like this episode is sort of all over the shop. For some reason, we're looking at Burns. Burns is showering and he's got white hair on his chest, and it's really off-putting. Little patch.
Is it? I don't know if it's
very
actually white. I think it's the same color as his head hair, isn't it?
Does he have head hair? It's grey or whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
Oh my god, you don't know what color Burns' hair is because of
What color is Burns' hair?
It's like a blue.
Oh.
Burns has like blue hair. Not
He's
like,
got, like,
Marge
whitish-
and the Van Houten's hair, but it's blue. Or like a light blue. Oh. Did you know Marge had blue hair?
I know Marge has blue hair, but okay, so Marge... Actually, that reminds me of that episode where the cops are describing Marge.
What a freak.
She's got pearls, big blue hair. Oh my God, what a freak. That's funny. Burns' hair on his chest is coloured, whatever that is. I don't know, whatever. The chest
It's
chest
like the
hair
same
is
color as
off-putting.
his head hair. I mean, I think it's like the Simpsons version of grey hair. Oh, maybe not. Do they do other grey hair? They must do.
Well, what about Miss Winfield? Her hair's white.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so it's like a really light blue, which matches his head hair.
Okay. Well, I'll agree to disagree. No. I said John Lovitz. Oh, and Lombardo. Oh, and yeah, Ringo Starr guest stars. Can you believe that Ringo Starr guest stars in this before
In
any other
season
Beatle?
2, yeah. It's pretty good. Like, I mean, who else do they get? They get Paul McCartney
Paul
later
McCartney's
on.
in during the vegan episode.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure. Is George Harrison in it? No, yeah, George Harrison.
Is he?
Am I thinking of Family Guy? There's an episode where, it might be Family Guy.
Yeah.
No. It
Which
is
we're
Simpsons.
never going to do a
Homer
podcast
goes over
about,
to
by
the
way. But yeah.
Yeah, well, but Homer goes over to like a catering table and goes, "Oh my God, they've got brownies." Oh no, it's Family Guy. Wow, I'm mixing them up. We might have to cut this bit out. It's
Yeah, just
sacrilege.
cut this whole section, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. I know you're trying to have a good time, and then Jared just mentioned Family Guy.
Family Guy of all things. Oh yeah, so Ringo Starr gets to answering Marge's. He's answering all his fan letters. It's got like heaps of fan letters, like at the present time. And he's answering Marge's fan letter that she wrote when she was a kid. And she writes back, and Marge is ecstatic because she gets a reply. And he's like, in the reply, he goes, in answer to your question, yes, we do have hamburgers and fries in England. Here we call French fries chips.
I love this depiction of Ringo Starr. Like I said at the top, it's one of my favorite celebrity guest stars because he's just so dopey, and how he's still answering his fan mail from 30 years ago or something. And what is it, like his butler or something comes in? And it's like, when will you give this up? And he's like, never.
It's stupid. I like it.
So good.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. Man, this episode's been a train wreck. I'll be honest. It's like. It's just like, dude, where? Oh, I've read this. That's all my notes on the episode too.
Wait. Oh, okay.
That's everything. What else you got? Tell me.
I mean, when Marge does this, I don't know if you'll find it funny, but the Marge enters her thing in the contest, and the critic is like looking at the other two paintings. One of them is just like an image of a sad unicorn in front of some factory with CO2 emissions, and it just says why. And it's just like
That is pretty funny.
Dumb. It looks like the kind of crappy meme you'd see these days, just like Charlie the Unicorn level crap. And it's just
That's so funny. So okay, that's good. That's pretty good.
1980s. It's so good.
Is that it?
I'm pretty sure. No, there is during breakfast. I don't know which breakfast, but it's written down here. Lisa calls milk moo juice. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure she says moo juice.
Why? What's the context?
She's asking. I think she says, "Can you pass the moo juice?"
That's weird.
That's what I heard. I don't know. The subtitles didn't back me up, but it really does sound like she says.
Okay,
moo juice.
Moo juice.
Yeah.
It actually it makes sense. Like, what do you drink at breakfast? Orange juice, I guess. What do you want milk? You call it moo juice, I guess.
Moo juice.
Okay.
But did you find it really weird how like the timing of or the time frame that Burns is at the Simpsons house just feels like it's ages? Like
It does, yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
He's showering there and he's going for meetings and all this. Like, how long is he there?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So Marge decides to paint Burns, although he's a massive dick to Smithers. Might have to cut that out, sorry. Massive.
Nah, Dick can stay.
Nah, Dick's fine. Okay. He's a massive dick to Smithers. And Marge is like, how do you accept that? And Smithers is like, oh, I love him. I'd let him do whatever to me. I don't know what he says. Something along those lines. Something homoerotic. And and Burns just continues to be a bit of a dick. And then Marge gets upset and is like, I'm not painting you anymore. And then decides to paint him for some reason again. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because she sees him naked. That's right. She goes into he's showering at her house for some reason.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's like living there while she's doing the portrait. I don't understand.
Yeah, like if it's a daily thing, come back each day. You don't have to live there. Plus, he's rich. Surely he hosts her. Anyway. And yeah, so she sees him naked and then remembers exactly in her mind what he looks like naked and ends up painting him naked and winning the art show because they're all like, oh my God, it's horrible. But then she's like, no, because she gives this big speech like, no, but this just proves he's vulnerable. Although he's a wealthy, evil dude, he's actually very vulnerable and whatever. And
still a human being.
Still a human being.
His cruelness and that sort of thing, yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, first prize. And then I don't know. Burns is happy.
You're getting two separate scenes confused here. So there is the contest where she gets first prize, but that's the one of Homer, I think.
Oh,
the one with Burns is for some like Burns museum unveiling. It's like his personal portrait or something.
Oh, like yeah. It's not a prize thing, is it?
No. So everyone like initially hates the painting because they're seeing an old man naked
for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but once she explains, the message or whatever, then everyone goes, "Oh, I see. Now I understand art. Now that someone's told me."
Yeah, and then it's sort of like,
Which
oh,
is
no one
exactly
that's
how art is.
yeah, and they're like, no one that speaks German could be evil. Yeah,
I'm coming for you, Andy Warhol. I hate your art. And I want everyone to understand, even though you're dead.
Jackson Pollock used to urinate on his artworks.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I still hate Andy Warhol more.
Why?
It's soup cans, man. It just drives me crazy.
Really? I like the vibe of pop art in general.
So many soup cans.
But you know what's interesting? I read this. It's probably completely untrue. Andy Warhol was a virgin until he died.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Look, do you have anything?
He deserves it, honestly. Unless it was by his choice, in which case, yeah. But if he was a virgin, not by his choice, he deserves it.
Art fans out there, write in, let me know what you think. But yeah.
I have a mug that says like, this is real art we're talking about, not Andy Warhol the hack. Which
why? Because he because he just liked soup.
I don't like.
He did other stuff. He did other stuff rather than just soup.
Didn't he also like paint the Queen or something? I don't know.
Marilyn Monroe.
Just the fact that he's Ellen Monroe. What? Who? Monroe. Marvin Monroe. Or
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe. Right, not Marvin Monroe. Monroe. No, I despise his soup. Why is there so many soups? He could have done soup maximum 3 times.
Did a lot of soups, didn't he? He really likes.
Red Hot Chili Peppers get a lot of flack for singing about California all the time. Why don't people give Andy Warhol flack for painting the same can of soup 600 times?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But boy, they do sing about California a lot.
Oh boy, they do sing about California a lot. I actually saw a meme on a Simpsons page recently about Ray Gun. And I sent it to you, and I was like, I commented on this thing, and someone was talking about how Ray Gun was crying back, and she was stuck in a room in 2008 crying or whatever. And I said, "You guys think that's funny, huh? Well, I'll tell you something that's not funny. Right now, Ray Gun is in her room crying like a little girl."
Do you know the context of that? Because I've heard that incident about her crying was actually not even at the Olympics. It was a previous event. Like,
it happened in
2008.
No, it happened in 2008. It was like literally 16 years ago.
And they just bring it up now to be like, she's crying. Yeah.
She's crying like a little girl. Oh, boo-hoo.
Anyway, we're back onto Ray Gun.
Oh, yeah, Ray Gun, right. Sorry, Simpsons, yes.
All things lead to Ray Gun.
So, artwork's good. Homer learns lessons about losing weight. How does it even end? I can't remember. That's how irrelevant
I don't know.
it
I
was.
think he's successfully lost some weight and Marge did a painting. Yep.
Okay. What was your verdict on the episode?
I gave it a C. It's not rock bottom for me because I reckon the Ringo Starr thing and the speech at the end by Marge elevated above a rock bottom.
The speech?
Yeah.
Really? Why the speech?
Well, I don't know. It's a decent message. Oh, the speech about the fragility of man and that, even though he's cruel and old, he's an old senile man.
I like the Camp Krusty stuff. I mean, not the Camp Krusty, the Mount Splashball.
Thing.
Yeah, the other thing. The crooner with Krusty. Most things with Krusty are pretty funny because he's just he just sucks.
But then I really like Ringo Starr, and it's just really there's a part where he writes back to Marge, which again is a point we didn't really bring up, but she loses faith and then she gets a letter from Ringo 30-something years later, and that's what inspires her to keep doing the art. But when he's reading his letter, he goes, "I hung it on me wall."
I hung it on me wall.
That's so stupid.
That is pretty funny. I hung it on me wall.
Yeah. So
maybe. Wait, can you write down that timestamp? I just moved my mic.
Oh God.
Sorry.
All right, let me write it down.
Okay, you gave it a C. I'll tell you what I gave it. I gave it a rock bottom.
Oh, for God's sake, really?
I'm happy to move it up.
How is this worse than the last? Why did you like the last episode so much?
The last one had some decent jokes. To be fair, this one did have the Lombardo guy, which he was pretty funny, and then it also had the camp, not the Camp Krusty, the water park Krusty stuff.
Yeah, Splashball.
And
which is it's a pretty iconic scene. The can you take me to Mount Splashmore? Can you take me to Mount Splashmore? I don't know how.
Yeah, it is iconic. No, that is iconic. Yeah, and the Kirk Van Houten looking mofo, and car with Lenny's voice. Yeah, you know what? There's a couple of things there. I mean, it wasn't great, but I'll give it a C. Choose not to watch. I think that's fair, right?
Just watch the Ringo highlights on YouTube. Next episode 19.
Episode 19 for people following along at home.
For us, I suppose today.
That's right. That's where we're at. Okay,
Lisa's substitute.
That's it. So I've got this. Homer pales in comparison to Lisa's teacher, as does Bart with his opponent for class president.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the A story. That's the B story.
Yeah. I like that they match up a bit in this one.
Yeah.
Lisa's substitute, Rich Moore, John Vitti, man, iconic. 1991, April 25, 17.7. Dude, it keeps going down. 17.7 million viewers.
Yeah.
That's pretty, man, they mustn't have liked the Mount Splashmore episode. When Miss Hoover falls ill with a suspected case of Lyme disease, she is replaced by the Justin Bieber disease. She is replaced by substitute teacher Mr. Bergstrom. Because of his unorthodox teaching methods, Lisa quickly takes a liking to him. Just as Lisa is about to ask Mr. Bergstrom over to her parents' house for dinner, Miss Hoover returns. Meanwhile, Bart runs for class president against Martin Prince, but loses due to the fact that nobody in the class voted, with the exception of Martin and one of his supporters.
Yeah.
Pretty spot on.
This podcast has an important message. You should be out voting.
Right. I didn't want to say it, but vote or die. Vote or die. Yeah.
You didn't want to say it and you shouldn't have.
Yeah. You know, in the eye. Wow, you really can't say any of those words in that song. Wow.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Radio edit.
Miss Hoover has Lyme disease. This is a public service announcement. You know what, guys? Get your cat and or dog vaccinated and put some tick
stuff on them.
Solution.
And just so you know, the same tick stuff doesn't continue to work. You do have to keep up to date because, you know, if you got tick stuff 2 years ago, it's probably no longer effective.
That's correct. You don't want Lyme disease. Is Lyme disease in Australia? I actually don't know. I'm sure it is.
Sure. Surely.
I've never met a single person with it, but I do know Justin Bieber had it. Oh, actually, do you know who did have it? Do you remember Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20?
Oh, yeah. And I reckon he did better work outside of Matchbox 20, but yes.
No, I agree. He had a song called Ever the Same. Fall on me. You know that song?
Oh, yeah.
I'll be there for you. That's about his wife who had Lyme disease. So she was, I don't know if she was becoming like paraplegic or whatever, or like, you know, but she was like losing her ability to do something. And so the lyrics are about him like supporting her through having Lyme disease.
That's really sad.
Yeah. I think she's like good. I think you recover. Like you don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like permanent. You know what? Do your research on Lyme disease. If you know anything about Lyme disease, if you're a doctor out there, write in crackerfactorypodcast@gmail.com. Let us know. But Justin Bieber has it, or had it. I don't know. Miss Hoover has it.
To be doing all right, I think.
Well, he had like an issue with the left side of his face, which went numb, and he like, I don't know if that had nothing to do with Lyme disease. It's a whole other thing as well. He's really copped it.
He's had a rough life.
Yeah, poor dude.
Although he was dating Selena Gomez for a while there, so.
Yeah, true. Principal Skinner begins teaching the class when Miss Hoover leaves. Right, I've been a teacher. I was a teacher for 5 or so years, or however long before this year when I, quietly moved out of teaching. And I would say, what's the word I'm thinking of here, Isaac? I
got everything you needed out of teaching, Jared.
Yeah,
You've done it all.
I've done it all. So I moved out of teaching with lots of dignity, and now I'm doing something else. But when I was teaching, I never saw many. I saw, you know what, in my entire tenure at any school, I had one principal teach a class ever, and it's only because he wanted to teach a class. He never had to. Principals do not teach classes.
I mean, our principal at high school, we went to the same high school, taught classes. I think he taught maths and stuff, didn't he?
Did he? I feel like he might have ran.
Let's just say Mr. C. Mr. C. I'm pretty sure he did. maths. And
Okay, well, that's
something else.
too obvious. Let's call him Michael C. Is that actually his name? I can't remember.
I don't remember. 'Cause
Something
it was
like that,
two of them.
anyway.
Oh no! Now I'm
Was it two of
doxing
them?
him. Well, no, because they were twins. Remember? Anyway, we're
What,
doxing
at our
him.
school in Townsville?
Yeah, at
Sorry.
the school that we went to. Yes, yeah. No, because he was a twin. So one of them was the principal, and one of them, I don't know, did something else. But
No way. I didn't believe it. Was that actually a thing?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
pretty sure.
I didn't know that. Where was
didn't
I?
make
I have
it
no
all up.
idea. I
You were
was
too
too busy
being
writing.
popular, and I was teacher's pet. You know,
Popular? Bro, I looked at my statuses from like 10 years ago, bro. They keep
God, I
coming
hate
up on
when
my
they come
Facebook.
up, hey? Yeah.
They're so cringy. 0 likes, and I've just posted music like song lyrics. Oh god, like so like, and I'm talking like song lyrics like 'cause tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. Those sorts of songs, like emo, like
boy.
cringe songs. Yeah.
Yeah. You knew
So
how
whoever
cool
sings that
back
song, it's a banger, but like, you know, grow up. Your song's lame, but it's a banger. Work that out. Principal's going to teach us a class. He says something funny. I can't remember. But then then it goes to Edna teaching Bart. Oh no, you know what happens? As Skinner's teaching the class, something happens and he's like, I know that's you, Bart Simpson or whatever. And then it like pans across, actually dollies or whatever, like to the next, I can't remember how the camera movement, but something happens where it goes to the next class that Bart's in and he's showing everyone this video of his cat giving birth.
Yeah. And he says if I put it in reverse, you get to see them go back in. Which is
Yeah, and the
just
kid's like
horrible.
horrified. That is disgusting, you know.
That would still horrify me today, I think.
Oh, it's horrible. But like, here's the thing. Couldn't Edna just stop it? She's the teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe she was interested. I don't know.
Powerless against the force that is Bart.
Yeah. But then Dustin, I said Dustin Hoffman. Oh, it is Dustin Hoffman, actually. Mr. Bergstrom is Dustin Hoffman.
Okay.
You know that?
No, I did not know
I
that.
thought I accidentally wrote Dustin Hoffman as like the character's name. But no, Dustin Hoffman is like Mr. Bergstrom. He voice acts Mr. Bergstrom. Comes into the classroom with a cowboy hat on. It's pretty
Just starts
cringy.
blasting. Yeah.
Yeah. Starts
It's like
blasting.
bang bang Bart with the with the cap guns.
Yeah, literally. And he's like, my name is something from 1840. You know, I'm from the Wild West or whatever. I'll give like, what does he say? He's like, I'll give extra credit or early slip or whatever, like, you know, something. I'll give something to someone that can tell me the 3 things that are wrong with my costume right now. And what are the 3 things? Do you remember?
His Buckle said state of Texas.
Yeah, Texas wasn't
and
a state.
Texas wasn't a state yet, so until 1935 or something.
Yep.
He
The
was
second
using
thing-
revolvers. Revolvers weren't made until 1834 or something.
Yep. And the last thing.
The last thing was he was wearing a digital watch, but Lisa said something about him
being a Jew.
Yeah, being a Jewish cowboy.
And there were no Jewish cowboys. And he goes, that's also correct. But yeah, so so Bergstrom likes Lisa. No, Lisa likes Bergstrom.
No one likes
Nobody likes Bergstrom. No one likes Milhouse, that's for sure. So, and Bergstrom starts singing, Dustin Hoffman starts singing Home on the Range to the kids with a guitar, but it's like really bad and out of key and just like, he's like, home on the range. And he's like, although the range was actually not home, it was like, and he starts like describing all these different things that he's singing about.
Yeah. Like clarifying them so they're actually historically accurate or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's bad.
I don't know. You're talking about him being cringy. I find it really endearing, which I think is, you know, what they're trying to do. And obviously,
No, you're right. Actually, it's probably more endearing that it is cringy, but there's a little bit of cringe to it. I did feel a bit of secondhand embarrassment when Lisa sort of got picked on for the Lisa's in love with the teacher thing. So Lisa is really Lisa's really enamored with Bergstrom and answering all the questions and whatever. And the kids start making fun of Lisa and being like, making fun of Bergstrom. And they hand Lisa this note, the girls, not Sherry and Terry because they're in Bart's class. Who does it? What's the dark skinned girl, Lisa's mate? What's her name? Janie.
Yep. Janie. Yep.
Janie hands. I think it's Janie. I can't remember who. Let's call it Janie.
Yeah, Janie.
Let's call her
Yeah.
Mrs. J. Yeah, she hands she hands Lisa a note that says "singing dork," and it's got, which is really really well drawn for like the 2 seconds they had to draw it while he was singing. But they gave her the singing dork piece of paper with Bergstrom, a depiction of Bergstrom playing guitar on it, and he pulls Lisa up on it and says, "What's this?" She goes, "Oh, I don't know. I didn't draw it." He goes, "Oh, look at that singing dork, and it's got me." And then she's like, "I didn't draw it." And he goes, "Are you sure? Because it's really good." He goes, "Now I wish I did draw it." And then he's like, "I'm going to keep this, whatever." And then after that, they draw a depiction of Lisa being like singing dorkette or something,
Yeah.
and like teasing, being like Lisa loves the teacher.
Kissing his ass, basically.
Yeah, which I got secondhand embarrassment from. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. This episode is a bit weird in a lot of places, but when it sort of ties the things together, it makes sense. But just it is an uncomfortable sort of like Lisa's in love with the teacher kind of subtext, I suppose.
Yeah.
But then obviously the resolution to that is, well, she doesn't have a strong male role model in her life, so she's confused about things, kind of.
They don't really play into the in love with the teacher bit though that much. They do, but they don't. Like they don't.
Yeah.
Because they make it really normal. They normalize it, and I'm like, she's actually in love. Like she's describing the teacher to Marge
As a handsome Semitic man or something.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, handsome. This that. She's saying, oh, he's got these blue eyes. He's so dreamy, or whatever. I don't know, whatever she says.
but
Blue eyes
she
or whatever.
says she says something about trusting everything he says and through his body language or something, and his Semitic good looks. And then it cuts to Bergstrom or whatever his name is, and he makes like a shocked and appalled face. It's weird. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I didn't notice that, but I did notice her saying all this stuff to Marge, and Marge being like, "Oh, I felt that way about your father," and Lisa's like, "No, you're not getting it. No, he looks like this, and he's so handsome." She goes, "Yes, I feel that way about your father sometimes." She goes, "No, you're not getting it." And she goes, "Will you just listen?" He goes, "As long as you listen and accept that I feel that way about your father." She goes, "Fine." But it's just like, I don't know. I felt uncomfortable. I actually felt uncomfortable listening to Lisa talk about the teacher like that. Because he's a bit of a creep. I don't know. He's like, it's endearing, but I don't know.
So I don't think they play it like he's a creep. I think she's going through some stuff, and a lot of that is because she doesn't have that strong male role model, because obviously Homer is Homer. And so that sort of left her confused about things, which is why there's the whole conversation between, both Marge and Bergstrom trying to talk to Homer about being a better father, basically.
Yeah. I guess.
We skipped a lot, but yeah.
Oh, we skipped heaps. Like I've skipped a lot of these notes are like, oh, so Bart's running for class president.
And Martin's running as well, but Sherry and Terry nominate Bart. Apparently, Mrs. K is actually married. Did we ever hear about this again?
No. Do we hear about this again? I don't know. No, we don't.
Yeah.
What's happening to Chuck from Lisa's class? Oh, what happened to Chuck? Oh, yeah. So Bergstrom's going around trying to get the kids to talk about the one thing that they can do.
Yes, Chuck is like the spiky, not Bart spiky, but like the weird blonde spiky kid, is he?
Yeah, and he's like, I could do this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what? He's like, well done, Chuck. And then Janie can do this. And Lisa's like, I can't do the thing. He goes, come on, Lisa, do the thing like pressuring her. It's really awkward. And she's like, no, I can't. And then afterwards, play the saxophone, obviously. And then afterwards, she gives him like saxophone serenade from the outside the classroom.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Which is not a euphemism. Maybe we should cut that out.
I don't know. All right, what do you want me to write it down? You can make the decision.
No, leave it. It's funny.
38.
I even wrote. So he's reading Charlotte's Web to the kids, and the kids are crying. Like he's crying in class after reading Charlotte's Web to the kids.
Yeah,
and then she tells at home. Lisa tells like Marge about it. He's like, he even started crying, visibly when at the end of Charlotte's Web, and then Bart and Homer start going crying,
laughing,
teasing him, being like, oh, I'm crying, a book, I'm crying over. So funny. And
Montage of Bart running for his campaign.
Oh, we missed the part where at the start, Martin's like, "Oh, there's asbestos in the school. We want to change these numbers." And then Bart goes, "We demand more asbestos, more asbestos, more asbestos." And they start like chanting more asbestos.
Opposite of whatever Martin wants. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that when he's doing the little montage of him running his campaign. There's the scene where Martin's sign says a vote for Bart is a vote for anarchy, and then Bart's sign says a vote for Bart is a vote for anarchy.
Yeah, it's a good joke. Okay, so it's concerning the teacher hanging out with Lisa. I said that, but whatever. How did Ralph know to draw? Oh, so Ralph draws a picture for Miss Hoover, who's in hospital, and well, I don't know. She's in hospital, I guess. Is she in hospital? I think she's in hospital. Nah, she wouldn't have come to school to say she has Lyme disease and then go to hospital.
Yeah, I imagine she's I don't know.
She's at home. Anyway, she's somewhere.
Hospital.
She's recovering somewhere, maybe in Bali or something. And and she and Ralph says, "We drawed you this picture. We put a spirochete on it." Did you know what a spirochete was, by the way?
No.
Neither did I. How the hell does Ralph know what a spirochete is? I looked it up. It's just like a form of bacteria. But like,
yeah.
Firstly, what the hell is a spirochete?
Saying that?
And how would Ralph know what a spirochete is? He's like in second grade. I mean, I'm in 27 billionth grade, and I don't know what a spirochete is. Maybe I'm just stupid.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, you didn't do biology at school, did you? You did. Did you do physics? You did physics, didn't you?
I did biology. Oh, we all did. No, I didn't do any. I didn't know sciences in VCE.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's why I'm a stupid.
What you did? You did music.
I did music, media, and ICT.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, my IT classes, we just played games. Yeah.
Well, we made the games. Well, yeah, because that's when we had the laptops and everyone spread N64 rips, and I just played Ocarina of Time every class. So.
Yeah, literally. An absolute piss take. Good times. God, schooling was great back then. Homer laughing at the suggestion of a $4.50 donation to go to the museum. And he goes,
funny.
"Wait a minute, I don't have to pay $4.50. It's a suggestion." She goes, "Well, yeah, you can pay. You don't have to pay at all. So why would any idiot pay you money?" And then Bergstrom comes in. She goes, "Mr. Bergstrom," and he goes, "Hey, you don't have to pay. Read the sign," to Bergstrom. So stupid.
Oh, it's so good.
I love that. I love Homer. He's so good.
Yeah. I mean, these scenes are pretty sad at the museum because it's like Lisa and Bergstrom and Homer are there, but obviously Lisa's bonding a lot more with Bergstrom than Homer, and obviously both Homer and Bergstrom sort of notice that as well. And so he pulls Homer aside to have a conversation about being a better role model for Lisa.
The other thing he does is he's talking to Homer about like Lisa, and he goes, "I believe she can do really well. I believe she has the capability to do really well." And he goes, "Why don't you just give her an A?" "I am giving her an A."
Yeah.
"Great. Don't tell her." And he goes, "Don't tell her she has to try hard." She goes, she doesn't have to try hard or whatever. I don't know, something stupid.
Well, he says give her an A, and he says, "I am giving her an A," and Homer says, "Well, don't tell her it's because of me."
But don't
so
tell her she
completely
did this.
misses the point that Bergstrom's trying to get across to him, that
she's gifted,
gifted, and should be encouraged.
Encouraged and but then Lisa rocks back up to class because Marge says, "If you like this guy so much, why don't we invite him to dinner? Like him in that he's a good male role model, I suppose." But we'll invite him to dinner. She goes to ask Mr. Bergstrom out to dinner at her parents' house, and he's not in the classroom, and Miss Hoover's back, and it kind of hit hard when he wasn't there, to be honest. Did it not?
It what?
It hit hard. Like, it was like, oh God, like it was kind of like it was like it was a bit of a shock when you see Bergstrom not there. You kind of feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that is it. Hey, that's like the whole.
Well, the intention, I suppose,
episode.
but it does actually hit. Like, it actually hits. There are times where like you watch a show and doesn't like you're not invested enough to actually care, but
it doesn't have an impact.
Yeah, no impact, but this does have an impact. So she goes to Bergstrom's apartment to find him, and this lady goes, "Oh, he moved out. He's taken his stuff. He's gone to the train station or something. He's moving to upstate New York or wherever he's moving. Where's he moving? Do you remember?
Capital City.
Capital
Yeah.
City, because he's going to help out the how do I reach these kids sort of thing. He's going to help those kids out. And then, and the lady's like, and he took his Copernicus costume. He's so lame. I just love it. And then this lady's also been touched by Bergstrom's wisdom and, kind nature or whatever, because they repeat something together and I don't.
But they both go, or something. It's
beautiful Bergstrom.
It works a lot better with an adult female human than an 8-year-old. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit weird with an 8-year-old. But anyway, and then Martin ends up winning the presidential election despite the fact that Martin was like absolutely getting pummeled. It was basically the Donald Trump, Joe Biden thing where it was just like, Bart was Trump and just absolutely dominating, and Biden was just sitting there with his cold, just getting absolutely minced. And you're like, how is this guy ever going to win? And then, surprisingly, Bart holds like a victory party under the slide, giving out cupcakes. Thanks for your vote. Thanks for your vote. And everyone's going, oh, we didn't vote. Oh, thanks, Millhouse, for your vote. Oh, I did vote, didn't you? And Bart goes, oh, crap. They run back in and realize the voting's over, and they've got 1 vote for Martin, 2 votes for Martin. And then Bart goes, I demand a recount. She goes, okay, 1 vote for Martin, 2 votes for Martin. Would you like another recount? What's her name? Oh my God. Mrs. Krabappel absolutely loves that. And so Bart loses, classic. And then Hoover's like, it turns out I didn't have Lyme disease. It was psychosomatic. She goes, does anyone know what that means? And one of the kids goes, it means she's crazy. And then another kid goes, it means she's faking it. Oh, actually, it means a bit of both. So she was faking it and she's crazy, but she actually just thought she had it. She read too much of the magazines and that sort of stuff. And then
bit of a
Lisa,
grim moment here.
the psychosomatic thing, or
no? Well, yeah. So the next thing that happens is Hoover's like, oh, well, he hasn't even touched my lesson plan. What has he even taught all of you kids? Lisa says that life is worth living. And
life is worth living. Yeah, that's right. So she goes, who was your substitute? He hasn't even touched my lesson plans. He hasn't done any of this stuff. The life of a teacher, having to write lesson plans when you're sick. Can you believe that? It's actually true. She goes, he hasn't touched my lesson plans, but she's been teaching you. And then she runs out crying, goes, he's taught us that life's worth living, runs out crying, runs to the train station to meet Bergstrom. She's like, Mr. Bergstrom, Lisa, hey, how are you? She's like, why are you leaving? He goes, I've got to leave. She's like, but I need you too. And he goes, oh, it's kind of the problem with middle class. Anyone who really cares will abandon you for those who need it more.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny.
Yeah, it is funny, but grim as well. But yeah.
It is grim, yeah. Then Lisa goes, oh, but, I'll miss you. And he goes, yeah, I'm going to write something down for you. If you ever feel bad, read this. I've got to go. She's like, okay, I'm going to run alongside the train as you leave. He goes, yeah, cool. He leaves on the train. Then she reads the note. I'm really paraphrasing this here. She reads the note. This is actually the most sweet moment, though. What does the note say, Isaac?
You're Lisa Simpson.
Yeah, you are Lisa Simpson. He's like, if you ever feel bad, just read this note. I'm like, it's actually really sweet. It's actually a good note.
It's very sweet and touching. It's very iconic, Even if you don't know The Simpsons, you probably know this bit, really.
Yeah, 100%. It's iconic. And then Homer's,
immediately after it, yeah.
Homer's distraught. I think at the table, I can't remember where they're at, but Homer's distraught because he goes, I can't believe it, but lost. This is the worst thing that could ever happen. And he goes to Lisa, what are you so mopey about? And she goes, you wouldn't understand. And he goes, oh no, she goes, he doesn't, you don't care. And he goes, Homer goes, says to Lisa, just because I don't care doesn't mean I wouldn't understand. Stupid. Oh, actually, this is iconic too. So he goes, yeah, just because I don't care doesn't mean I don't understand. And then, actually, why does it get to this next part? What actually happens? Is that how he pisses Lisa off?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and then she just starts calling him a baboon, and he gets all hurt about it, as you would.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, he goes, "Oh, what's your problem?" She goes, "Oh, you wouldn't understand. Oh, just because I don't care doesn't mean I don't understand." And then Lisa gets upset and just goes, "You're a baboon," and yells at her, and then slams the door and runs upstairs crying. And Homer's really hurt, and she goes, "You." And then Marge sort of talks Homer into some sense. He goes, "You need to speak to your daughter," and he's like, "But she called me a baboon, the biggest, ugliest, smelliest ape of them all," which is pretty funny.
It is.
And then
That's good.
And then Homer goes and speaks to her, and actually, like, it's actually really sweet because it's like they actually use the language that Homer knows best, which is he can't really talk Lisa. He just sort of says to Lisa, "Yeah, people come and go, and life's full of that sort of stuff." But I don't even know what he says. He doesn't really console her necessarily, but he just makes her laugh because that's how he knows.
Well, he's talking about how Lisa is gifted, and one day she's going to be in a place where everyone around her is also gifted. But it's sort of just Homer acknowledging that he can't be what she needs in terms of like a intellectual role model or like an educated role model. But he sort of wants to show that he still cares and loves her and is there for her and all that sort of stuff, even though he can't be that sort of role model for her, which is really sad but really sweet as well.
Yeah, I felt like you got a lot out of that because I did not get that necessarily. I got that, but like not, I don't know, not to that extent. I felt like it was a really meager sort of thing that he said to her. There wasn't a lot of content in Homer's consolation.
Yeah, but that was it, right? Like his consolation was cheering her up, not saying...
Yeah, it wasn't saying like everything will be okay. It was more just like, look. He starts like acting like a monkey, and then Homer's actually nice in this episode is what I wrote at the end.
It is very sweet, and like that's sort of their relationship through the entire show, that Homer still loves her even though he doesn't really quite get it
understand
her. Yeah. He, still a dad and still loves her and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, which is actually a really this episode actually had a really nice message, and I liked it. I gave it. Did you like it?
I did. Yeah, iconic episode, very good. Lots of heartfelt and very sweet moments. So again, it's one of those not necessarily hugely funny episodes, but an important episode of The Simpsons all the same.
Yeah, for sure. So with that being said, I think we gave it the same thing.
Yeah, you go first.
I gave it an A.
Yeah, I'm happy with that as well. Cool.
Is that what you gave it?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, like in terms of comedy, it's like a C, but...
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like 3 okay jokes. But, yeah, no, it's actually a really nice episode. And the story is interesting too.
Yeah.
This next one sort of tells the story of Marge and Homer's marriage for a long time, so it's a good one. This next one is, bear with me, it's called The War of the Simpsons.
20, War of the Simpsons. Yeah.
War of the Simpsons, episode 20. So this is Mark Kirkland, John Swartzwelder, May 1991. We're getting there, halfway through the year. May 1991. And I've lost it on my Disney Plus. You're going to have to give me a second. But
we've really got to start speeding through these, man. We've still got like 3 more to do.
Oh, my God. Okay, we're going to smash through this one. It's going to be a real quick one. Okay, so... let me just explain. Let me give you the thing. So Homer and Marge attend the marriage retreat where Homer catches a legendary fish and maybe more. And then I've got, which is
that makes it sound like he got like chlamydia or something.
Yeah, which he might have done. He might have even got chlamydia from the fish. We don't know. But Homer gets drunk at a party. Marge decides to sign them up for a marriage counseling retreat. Homer finds out the retreat is to be held at Catchfish Lake and packs his fishing equipment. Despite Marge's telling him that they will be doing this. That all they will be doing is resolving their differences. At the lake the next morning, Homer tries to sneak away to go fishing, but Marge catches him and he takes a walk instead. On the dock, Homer finds an abandoned fishing pole. The pole with a legendary catfish named General Sherman on the line yanks him off the pier into the small rowboat and onto the lake. Homer catches his fish, and when he sees Marge upset, immediately lets go to prove his love to her.
Yeah. That sums it up nicely. All right, next episode.
Yeah, that's it. What do you think now? I said Homer having fun in bed with a sandwich. Interesting. Oh, that's how it starts. Is that how it starts?
Okay, no, we should still do it like. Wow, is it? Because No, that's how. Like that's after the party, isn't it? Like he's macking on the. Is it how it starts?
Is it? Oh, is he dreaming? I don't know. Oh,
He's dreaming. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. There's a party. Flanders rocks up.
No. Yes. Sorry, I remember what you're talking about. How Bart says something about not having any fun in the bedroom or something, and Homer says, "You don't know how wrong you are, boy, when you grow up a little bit."
Oh yes.
Imagines himself in bed eating a sandwich.
Yeah, I think they tell the kids to go to bed because they're gonna have a party, and Bart says, "I can't have any fun in the bedroom. You can't have any fun in a bedroom." And Homer goes, "Oh, when you grow up, you realize how wrong you are." And then Homer like daydreams of eating a big sandwich in bed,
Which sounds ideal, but the crumb situation in there would just be awful.
Yeah, agreed. So these people rock up to the party that they've been invited to, the Simpsons house, Cussida Simpson.
Nettie has a PhD in mixology.
Flanders has a PhD in mixology, and then Mo goes, college boys. That's so stupid. Homer throws up and...
Oh, I was going to say the Hibbert being a massive buzzkill about the novelty ice cube.
100%.
Despite it being the most whimsical jape of the season.
Yeah, it's literally the most whimsical jape, and Hibbert has to be a buzzkill. Homer threw up in the laundry hamper at the Winfields last time, so that's why Winfield hates him so much, I imagine.
Yes, okay. Yep,
so she must die, but... She must die before this, but discreetly. But this is just like a throwback to the post-mortem. I don't know, like hilarity of her of their time at the Winfields,
establishing her lore and background. Yeah,
exactly.
Before discreetly killing her off screen.
Yeah, exactly. Ironically, a real fly would have been much more sanitary. Oh yeah, so the Buzz Killington, Dr. Hibbert says, "Wait, is this a joke fly?" And he goes, "Yeah, gotcha, Hibbert," or whatever. And Hibbert goes, "But these flies have so much, the ice cubes of the flies have so many chemicals that are very hazardous. A normal fly would have been actually much more sanitary." And then Homer just keeps losing his shit because he thinks it's hilarious. And then Homer tells this dude off that's a friend of his wife. He's like. He's drunk as, and he starts.
Yeah.
He does the lampshade on the head thing. He crashes around the party. He looks like an idiot, and then he tells off this random dude, and he goes, "I've been wanting to tell you off for years." And the guy's like, "I don't even know you. Our wives are friends." He goes, "Well, I'm telling you that I quit." And he goes, "Please don't quit."
That's really good. I do like that.
Please don't quit. Oh, and then the last thing, the most important thing is, I'm going to say.
Oh, are you going to say that? Can you give me a handful of peanuts?
Yeah. Hey, Maud, can I get a handful of peanuts? Not those peanuts, the ones at the bottom.
God,
he's just looking down Maud's
awful.
dress at her breasts and her cleavage, and it's like it's actually the most like perverted thing out of a Simpsons episode to date.
Easily, yeah. There's other parts where Homer expresses that he thinks Maud is hot. Plenty of other episodes, but like...
She's such a fox. I mean, what's on Fox tonight?
It's such a perverted part of the episode, but yeah.
It's pretty bad. It's the most like perverse you've seen Homer, actually.
Yeah, probably.
Hibbert sounds like a lower voiced Burns for some reason in this episode. I thought
he sounded a little bit strange as well, but
he sounds blacker than normal. You know what I mean?
No, I don't, but
he just sounds more African American than normal. I don't know.
Right. Instead of his normal like hoo, 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 hoo.
Yeah, he's less like hoo, hoo, more like yo fool.
Oh god, Joe, we're getting sidetracked. Okay. Homer embarrasses Marge because he's like a drunk mess and he gets rolled on
my
the drinks that he's making.
My AirPods just died. Give me a sec. I gotta plug in.
Look, I'll keep hitting some notes here. Marge takes him into actually, this is a really good part. Marge takes him into the car to scold him and have an argument, and she says that she hated hearing her parents fight as a child. And then it quickly cuts to Bart and Lisa watching them. And Lisa says they are fighting again, and the music sends a chill down my spine, which is great, traumatizing the kids there. How you coming there, Jared?
Yep. What are we talking about? What are we talking about here?
We're up to. I was just laughing at the part where Marge and Homer go into the car to have an argument, and
Bart the Mexican music.
They're fighting again, and Lisa says the music sends chills down my spine.
Yeah, it's a Mexican hat dance. It's so stupid.
They
Grandpa
go
goes
to
on a
church. Homer's late. Then they sign up for the marriage retreat. Yep.
Oh no, yeah, no, you're right. There's no, hold on. Before that, so Marge lectures Homer before the fight, and she goes, "You've scarred Bart for life," and he goes, "No, I didn't." Oh, you mean inside? I was like, "Jeez."
That's pretty true.
Catfish Lake, aptly called. Oh yeah, and then Grandpa comes to look after the kids. No, Grandpa's asked to look after the kids. Oh yeah, old Grandpa, last resort, can't be counted on anywhere, anyhow, no how, dag nabbit. I'll do it. It's just
He keeps saying he's a phoebe as well.
Yeah, phoebe. Yeah. Oh, I'm such a phoebe. Yeah,
has to go into my vocabulary now.
Yeah, such a phoebe. Feeble old grandpa. No how, no way can he. Anyway, I'll do it. Bart gives Grandpa a list of things he and Lisa can and can't do. Obviously,
including
that's
smoking a cigar and
yeah, we'll get to that. But hilarity ensues. Also, Homer asks the kid to fill up his gas. When in Australia does that happen? Has that ever happened to you in Australia? I know we're smashing through this, but
like your
like having a gas station attendant.
Yeah. There were places that did it, but yeah, it's basically gone these days, I think.
I never saw it ever, even as a kid. But anyway, I'll move on. That's just me. Maybe it's a big thing in the US.
Yeah, I think it is. That's like a small town America thing.
I wrote in my notes, General Sherman equals catfish. But it looks
true.
like a giant. Yeah, she looks like a giant lobster in the photo. So Homer goes into this bait shop and he goes, you're looking to catch General Sherman, are you? What the hell's that? He goes, it's a old wives' tale. General Sherman, sunk a bunch of sailors. Oh yeah, who says? Those guys over there. And there's like 4 guys that are sitting at this table, sort of like, that are fishermen or whatever. And Homer's like, I'm going to catch this fish. And they're all astounded, like, no, you won't. He goes, I'll do it by the end of the weekend or whatever. And then the Flanders are at so they go to the marriage retreat after the fight. Homer gets the bait to go catch General Sherman.
It's important to say that Marge, doesn't want him to go fishing. Like she stopped him from, or tried to stop him from bringing his fishing gear and stuff on the retreat.
Yeah, and he sneaks it in. That's right. And he sneaks it into the car. The Flanderers are there at the marriage retreat for some reason, but they sort of justify it in that, like, you can never get it. You can never be too
every year or something.
Yeah, you can never be too happy. I don't know.
A little spit shine on the marriage or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But the Reverend says, Marge, one marriage can't be reconciled in a few hours. It takes a whole weekend to do that, which is pretty funny. So they do that.
This retreat would make me throw up. Like, I can't imagine anything more uncomfortable than this setting. It's truly awful.
What? What do you mean? Like,
the marriage retreat, sitting in a room with 6 other people talking about a relationship. I'd be
in front
so
of everyone.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, you'd be uncomfortable. I think that's the point. But I like the John and Gloria, the classic line: "Queen of the Harpies, Queen of the Harpies. Here's your clown, Your Majesty." No, I'm not Queen of the Harpies. And then they're fighting. And they look into each other's eyes, and I haven't seen your eyes so blue before. Oh, let's never fight again. It's just a really dumb thing where the Reverend saves a marriage in like 2 seconds. Yeah. The Queen of the Harpies is a really iconic line, though. Is it not?
Yeah.
Am I making that up?
No, Queen of the Harpies, yeah.
Here's your crown. Maud underlined passages in Ned's Bible so when she can't find hers.
Yeah.
That's a bizarre. Meanwhile, quick cut to the Bart buying all this ice cream with, and are you sure? Abe's going, are you sure your parents want you to have this much ice cream? And he goes, for the last time, I said yes. And then he's smoking a cigar in the shop, which is the first time you'll ever see Bart smoking, I guess.
Yeah,
no,
probably.
Yeah, which is crazy. He's smoking a cigar too. It's not a cigarette, but a cigar. Like in the shops. I guess you could just smoke in shops back in those days. Homer's list of issues kind of sounds like me. Oh, why did I say that? Let's move on. It's funny. He lounges around on the couch. He's what was his issue? I can't remember his issues. It's pretty funny though.
Yeah, that's just.
He's just smelly and stinky.
Plenty of real criticisms there, but lots of nitpicky things too.
Yeah, like he just eats with his mouth open or chews with his mouth open. It's like not that I do that, but McBain shoots
the kids are watching McBain.
Oh yeah, McBain shoots the book because he's told to read or something. What is it? Oh, I mean, the Book of Laws. Is that it?
It's he doesn't want to use the standard issue gun because he's got his massive cannon thing.
His massive cannon gun.
He's like, you got to go buy the book, McBain. And he goes, buy book.
Yeah, McBain shoots the book, buy book. That's it. Yeah, and they're all cheering, yeah, McBain, shot the book, whatever. And then Bart says, we're going to have a rager party. So he starts calling people, and he calls one person, Milhouse, and then Milhouse calls someone, and then that someone calls
And this
Otto.
inspired Project
And that-
X.
Yeah, I guess, but that Otto calls McBain. Otto calls calls McBain by book, by party. No, Otto calls Snake in jail for some reason. I don't know
He
how.
just happens to be getting out that day or something.
Yeah, conveniently.
Word quickly spreads of a party at a 10-year-old, so obviously every criminal in the city wants to be there.
And then, so the party's going to happen that weekend because Grandpa can't look after the kids because he has no control of them. And I said, are most
'Cause he's a
church
phoebe.
reverends... Yeah, he's a phoebe, absolute phoebe. No how, no way. And are most church reverends marriage counselors as well? Why did I write this note?
I don't know. I think that's like a small town America thing where they filled in all jobs. You know, they would go around and they would visit the sickly and pray with them, and then they would be the marriage counselors to make sure they're following God's path of one marriage forever.
Yeah, that actually does make more sense because it's ringing a bell. There's a reason I wrote that note down. But anyway, do your own research, people. Homer catches fish. Marge gets upset. He just picks up the line, and the line conveniently goes,
Okay. So Homer tries to sneak out to go fishing, and Marge blows up about it. He wants
she's
to go before the retreat is even starting.
and she's
he wants
asleep.
Yeah, well, yeah. But, I mean, like, he is sneaking out. But what is her ish with him going out before any of the meetings are meant to be happening, you know? Like...
She can't, like, she can not trust him to come back. But if he comes back, you
Where's
don't
the
know he's
harm?
not... Yeah. You don't know he's not going to come back. Well, you can't know for sure, but you can have suspicions. But even still, you're right. Like, I was
has
thinking that too. I was like,
obligations to go to the retreat, but this is before the mandatory visiting hours. So anyway,
so
whatever.
what does it matter? Yeah, he's woken up early enough. That's his problem. But anyway, oh yeah, that's funny. So Homer catches the fish conveniently because he picks up the pole and it like drags him into the water. He ends up catching the fish after ages of fighting with it. And he's singing "We Are the Champions," and Marge catches him and she's like, "What the hell, Homer? You caught the fish." He goes, "Marge, this makes me a champion and a hero." And she goes, "To who?" And he goes, "To the weirdos in the worm store."
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Oh, yeah, okay. Then he throws out the fish because he's like, "Fine, I love you, so I'll throw out the fish." She's like, "You couldn't do it." And he goes, "Yes, I can." He throws out the fish and he goes, "Oh, my God, I did it." She goes, "Oh, I love you. Let's never fight again." Because he threw out the fish. Again, a bit of a meat.
Kids having the party, trash the house.
Oh, yeah. Then Grandpa starts crying, and I'm a terrible grandpa. And then he's like, Bart's like, I feel something. I feel bad. And she goes, Lisa goes, "It's called remorse." He's like, "How do I fix it?" She goes, "Get a brush and start scrubbing the house clean because the party destroyed the house." They clean the house. Grandpa starts laughing at the end because he's like, "Aha, I fooled you all. Oh, good old Grandpa strikes again."
Haha, classic.
Okay.
The best jape of the season. Okay.
The most whimsical jape. What did you reckon?
I have a theory I'd like to confront you with first. So when
pray
Homer
tell.
lets go of the fish, it could just be cartoon shithousery, but the fish like looks at. I know there's no camera in animation, but it jims the camera and winks. Yes, you caught this.
I missed this. No, actually,
Okay.
I caught it.
Okay. Is the fish, the bait shop owner, and all the weirdos in the bait shop all on the Reverend's payroll to help with marriage counseling?
Wow. We need to go to a Comic-Con, ask, Matt Groening or whoever about this. Who wrote it? No, who wrote it?
Why
Where's
did the
Archer?
fish wink at the camera? He has to be part of it.
I thought it was
It's
just a
all
comic. I thought it was like a cartoon jape at the end.
The most whimsical jape.
Whimsical
of the episode.
jape at the end where it's like wink, it all worked out in the end. I didn't think it actually had anything. But you're right, it doesn't add up. Okay.
It doesn't add up.
might have to do
A
our
fish
research on
can't
this.
Wink. Why would it do that? The only reason? It's part of the Reverend's scheme to help
It's a plan.
failing couples.
Do you reckon Ned and Maud are also on the payroll?
No. I reckon they're too square to do something like that.
What
whereas
about
the Reverend,
John and Gloria? Queen of the Harpies, Queen of the Harpies, here's your crown, you majesty. That's so stupid. That guy's the best. Okay, what did you give it? What did you
It's a
reckon?
C. It's a C.
I gave it a B or a C. All right, B or C.
Meh. I mean, I'm happy with either, really. It's all right, but it's not a great episode, is it?
I'll put it in C, I think. Let's do choose not. Okay, let's move on.
Yep.
Last two more episodes, guys. Right in, what have you liked best about this Simpsons fiasco? The last 7 episodes have been quite stinkers, so it's hard to talk about the great parts because there aren't a lot of great parts, but we're going to get to season 4 eventually, and that's where they start getting kind of good.
There's some good ones mixed in between, but yeah,
here and there.
These early seasons are a bit a bit rough.
When are they going to get to the fireworks factory? We don't know. When are they going to get? Sorry, comic three men and a comic.
Episode 21.
3 men and a comic book. Jesus, I can't read. Episode 21. What are we up to? Episode 6 of our podcast today.
Yes, this would be episode 6. Yeah.
6 of the podcast today. Bart, this is the Disney Plus. Bart earns less than expected doing chores, so he partners with Milhouse and Martin on a rare comic. What do you mean partners with them? That doesn't. I wish that was written better. Partners to purchase rare comic.
It's just a timeshare. They're doing a timeshare.
Yeah, true. Bart, Milhouse, and Martin. Sorry, I'll say this. 3 men and a comic book. Wes Archer, Jeff Martin, 1991, May 9, 21 million. Many people liked the previous episode, I guess. Bart, Milhouse, and Martin Prince pull their money together to buy the first Radioactive Man comic book from Comic Book Guy. They discover that they are unable to share the comic, and due to their distrust of each other, end up destroying it. Great.
Well, yep. That's
pretty good.
That's it, yeah.
Lisa buys Casper the Wimpy Ghost.
Yeah, so it starts out they're all going to a comic book convention. What is it? Bart speculates that Richie Rich and Casper are the same character or something. And after
they do look the same.
So
Richie dies and turns into Casper, I guess.
And Lisa speculates that Richie Rich dies after realizing how hollow the pursuit of money is and then took his own life.
It's pretty, again, more morbidity. A lot of morbidity in these episodes.
Yeah, the Simpsons writers were going through some stuff at this point.
100%. I think they just liked the idea of death as a comedy thing.
Sweet release, please.
Sweet. Radioactive Man never punches a guy without saying something witty, and Bart's showing Lisa the comic, being like, "It's the best." Look, he punches this guy into the sun and says, "Hot enough for you." But this is This is the first appearance of Bartman and Otto.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Otto as Busman.
I think it is. Yeah, first Bartman. I don't remember one that we've done before. If we did these more regularly, we might. But I think this is the first Bartman.
This is for the comic book collectors. I have a bunch of the Bartman comics, and I have the first Otto as Busman comic too.
Do you really? Wow, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Just sitting there. They're pretty destroyed, but they're pretty.
You got them.
Yeah, I got them. The mayor at the comic book convention thanking the people at the comic book convention for raising $300 for the for the economy. It's pretty funny.
So good.
Actually, Quimby's quite funny. Although Quimby's like towards the later episodes or later seasons of The Simpsons, they don't refer to him as Diamond Joe Quimby. They just refer to him as Quimby. Yeah. But these first few episodes, they sort of refer to him as Diamond Joe as always like this mafia.
Every time. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's Diamond Joe Quimby sort of thing. Like no one messes with Diamond Joe Quimby, but it's more. He becomes lamer as the season's gone, which is funny, I suppose.
They just go by Quimby. Yeah.
Yeah.
They drop the diamond. We get Dirk Richter, a mention of Dirk Richter as the original Radioactive Man, which does come up on the Radioactive Man they do later, where the executive guy's like, why don't we cast Dirk Richter?
Yeah, they do. They
keep telling you he's 87 and he's dead.
And he's dead. I keep telling you. The cigarette ad. So they have this cigarette ad, this old 1950 cigarette ad or whatever with Radioactive Man. And he says, sorry, he's smoking a cigarette and the Laramine cigarettes, and Fallout Boy goes, oh, can I have one Radioactive Man? And he goes, sorry, Fallout Boy, not until you're 16. And then at the end of that episode of Fallout, Radioactive Man or whatever it is, whatever show it is or ad, it's like brought to you by Laramine cigarettes. It's they're just taking the piss out of all these cigarette adverts from back in the 50s, 60s. Yeah. Milhouse asked Buddy Fallout Hope, what's his name? Fallout Hodges. Buddy Fallout Hodges. I guess he was Fallout Boy.
The original Fallout Boy.
Yeah, I wrote hoax. That's just a spelling error on my part. Buddy Fallout Boy Hodges. Sorry, they're doing a Comic Con style like Q&A, and Milhouse asks the Fallout Boy actor, very flamboyant Fallout Boy actor, I'll say, when Radioactive Man gets injected with shrink.
Yeah, a joke about Robin and Batman.
Yeah,
and Robin,
100%.
Yeah.
When Radioactive Man gets injected with shrinking serum in issue 234, how come his costume shrinks too? Which is a very valid question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why his costume shrinks. Actually, he doesn't have an answer for it. But Radioactive Man. So anyway, they go to the comic book shop after the comic book. Well, are they at the convention still, or they go to the shop?
Well, so when they see it at the convention, or Bart sees it at the convention, and comic book guy offers it to him for $100, which an actual steal for the first edition of any.
First edition comic book. If it's a good comic book, if you could not find an Amazing Spider-Man edition like first ever
$100
for $100, more like 100,000.
Yeah.
But how much money?
Oh God. Like what? Was like 230 or something?
227. Good work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Bart asked Homer for the $100 to buy the comic off Comic Book Guy, who's offered it to him, and Homer says, "Who is it drawn by? Michael Michelangelo."
Homer also says that Wonder Woman can tie him up anytime.
Wow. Hubba hubba. Aruga.
So maybe Homer is just more of a pervert in this season.
I feel like he definitely is.
Yeah.
He dances with the stripper as well.
Oh yeah.
Patty and Selma voice is affected by the cigarettes. Oh yes, Marge is trying to teach Bart the value of like earning your own money. So she's like, oh, back in the day, I worked for my sisters and did chores for my sisters to earn the money, and they were like really, like nice, not horrible voiced girls. And then they started smoking. Because they're like, well, what do you do with all our free time? Like, I might as well take up smoking. And then, like, the next scene, it sort of cuts to Marge playing with her new little oven that she bought as a kid. And the sisters have, like, these really gravelly voices. And one of them, I don't know which one, I'm going to call it Selma. No, Patty starts singing Venus by Frankie Avalon. And she goes, oh, Venus. It's like the worst thing in the world.
Awful.
It's really bad. That song's a banger, by the way, if you haven't heard it before.
I mean, I probably haven't. What was it? Venus by
Frankie Avalon. It's like an old school, like 1959 song or something.
Okay, I might check it out. I
yeah.
won't, but I might.
You might.
Frankie Avalon. I mean, after this little scene is one of the best lines by Bart, where she's telling Bart to get a part-time job to get the money, and Bart says, oh, but she's already so busy with taking on so much with Lisa and Maggie.
That's so funny. That is actually a really good one. That's a good one. I actually didn't even notice. I didn't write that down.
No, it is good.
There's a part where after that he has that inner monologue bit. What's that spoofing?
Oh,
a part-time job. Is it really?
I didn't realize it yet, but I don't know. It must have been some show that was popular back then.
It seems really familiar, but I feel like other things have spoofed it. Anyway, if you know what the show they're spoofing, but Bart has an inner monologue bit after they tell him to get a job, and he has a part-time job. I didn't know it at the time, and he's like, Bart. He goes, oh, sorry. And then Marge is getting her hair cut at Jake's unisex hair palace, which is she's getting her hair like blow waved and whatever at Jake's unisex hair palace. And then Comic Book Guy tries to sell him Nazi Smasher. Oh no, that's what Mrs. Glick says back in the day. She's like, oh, the kids loved comic books, Nazi Smasher and that. Mrs. Glick looked like Mrs. Winfield, weirdly enough.
But I mean, Glick comes up fairly. They lose Winfield, but Glick stays around and shows
maybe
up every now and then.
Glick might have killed Winfield. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, probably.
And then where was I? Oh yeah, so Bart does all these chores for Mrs. Glick. This is actually a good premise to this episode, like this part here. Yeah. So Bart does all these chores
cleaning the weeds, cleaning the gutters, cat litter, something like that.
So I'm folding up my paper. Yeah, so she does all this stuff, but it's pretty like bad, and she keeps getting the iodine out. She gets cuts from all these chores. She goes and cleans the backyard and gets cut up by all the thorns and stuff on a bush, and she uses the iodine and he hates it. Oh, but actually no, sorry. One of the best jokes from The Simpsons. This is probably the best joke for the whole last 7 episodes we're going to do all night. Is she talks. Mrs. Glick mentions, my brother Asa used to collect comic books. he collected the Nazi Smasher comic books, but he died in the war. He held a grenade too long, and it cuts to like Ace's death, and he's like pulls a pin on a grenade. And he's about to throw this grenade. And he goes, "This one's for you, Kaiser Bill. Special delivery from Uncle Sam and all the boys in D Company. Yeah, Johnny, Harris, Brooklyn, Bob, and Reggie. Yeah, even Reggie. He ain't so stuck up once you get to know him." And as he's like finishing the sentence, it explodes because he's just won't shut up.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty good joke. Mrs. Glick's also watching stories as well as Bart's doing the chores.
Yeah.
It's the same.
It must have been a popular one going around at this time or something. So they really wanted to make fun of it.
It was a thing at the time, but it's the same thing that Lisa and Marge were watching type thing where this dude's like harassing this woman, and on the TV it's like
because it's the same one, that makes me think it must be a specific show that must have been popular at that particular time, 1991 or whatever you were saying.
But this girl on this show is just going, "Jack, stop it, please, I'm married," or whatever, and then he's just like sexually assaulting her, and it's like this. She's like, "Oh," she says something pretty like provocative too, where she's watching it.
Yeah.
What does she say? She's like, "Oh, this is pretty horny" or something. I don't know. She says something like that. I can't remember what she says.
She said the word aroused or something.
Yeah. This is getting me aroused. That's what she says. She's like, ugh.
For all the work, gets all the iodine.
And gets 2 quarters.
What's that today, Jared?
Oh God. Okay, let me work it out. It's got to be 4 quarters. I don't know.
$1.27. I don't know.
Yeah, $15. I have no idea. But Bart gets like all these what seems like days of work. We actually don't know how long it could have been. It could have been a day. I have no idea. No, he goes back. Anyway, he gets 2 quarters, and Homer goes, "Hey, and he tells Homer, he goes, all I got was 50 cents. And Homer goes, "Hey, when I was your age, 50 cents was a lot of money." And Bart goes, "Really?" And Homer goes, "Nah." Which is a good joke too. That's 2 good jokes, by the way.
And he also says working is for chumps. And Homer says he was twice that age before he worked that out.
Yeah. Comic book guy sounds like a Hispanic man with a lisp in this episode I wrote.
He does sound weird, yeah.
He sounds Hispanic. A lot of, yeah. But then eventually, Martin and Martin goes in to buy something. What is Martin going to buy?
He's there to buy the comic book as well. He's trying to buy it for $40.
Oh, and yeah.
So comic book guy goes no, and Bart walks up and says, "Can I buy it for $35?"
Oh yeah, yeah. That's you. And then Milhouse rocks up and he wants to buy the baseball card, which was Carl Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski, whoever that is. I looked him up. He was, I don't know, baseball player with the big sideburns. And then they like, "Hey, we can all go in on this one card if we put our money together." And they decide to do it. But they don't know how they're going to split the card, the comic book. So what is it? How do they do it? They go back to Bart's treehouse and start, sitting around the comic book. And they're like, "Okay, how do we split it?" I think it was Monday through to Wednesday. No, sorry, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Milhouse gets it. Tuesday, Thursday, was it 2 days?
It has to be 2 days each, and then
Monday and Wednesday Milhouse gets it. Tuesday and Friday Martin gets it. Wednesday and Saturday Martin gets it. So Milhouse, Bart, and Martin, whatever it is.
Today is Saturday. Oh yeah, Saturday. And then they have to work out what to do
on Sunday.
Which is made by a random number generator. 0 through 10 or something.
No, 1 through to 10. Like, what about 0? Yeah, what about 0? Okay, and an unfortunate chance it lands on 0. Then we do a rock, paper, scissors, best 5 out of 7. And then like, yeah, okay, deal on who gets to have it that day. So Martin goes, "Okay, well, seeing as though it's Saturday and it's my day, I'm going to take it home with me. Bye, boys." And then Bart's like, "Not so fast." Yeah, that's what you'd like. And then they have to hang around the comic book. They're all sitting there, and then they sleep with the comic book because they're worried someone's going to steal it. And it's just a whole thing.
Yeah. They're all fighting over it, can't decide. They don't trust each other. They're all sleeping over and watching it. At one point, Martin gets tied up, and I think he suggests a tontine as well. The last one alive gets to keep it. Like they're actually going to kill each other or something.
Yeah. Oh, and also, we didn't look at the back. So they read the comic book at the start, and Radioactive Man becomes Radioactive Man because he survives an atomic blast. And then Martin goes, "Who would have thought? I would have thought that an atomic blast would have killed most people." And then Bart goes, "Well, now you know." so stupid. But yeah, so anyway, they end up They end up not being able to share, and then Bart becomes really skeptical because Martin wakes up to go to the bathroom or something, and they end up fighting, and he gets tied up, and then well, I don't even. Do you remember what happens after that? Martin gets tied up.
Well, yeah, and then Milhouse and Bart start fighting. Milhouse, at some point, didn't like Marge come up and give him cookies or something?
Yeah, come inside. It's raining, boys. You can play your little tie-up game inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Milhouse and Bart keep fighting. Milhouse falls out of the treehouse and Bart catches him, but then the comic book flies up to the window or something.
And Martin says, I can't help but feel like if you hadn't tied me up, I might be able to save the comic book right now. And Bart goes, shut up.
In the end, Bart saves Milhouse and the comic book flies out the window, gets chewed by the dog and then struck by
lightning. Yeah. Everything ever set on fire in the rain. No. So comic book gets destroyed. The end. They learn some valuable lessons. What are those lessons?
It cuts to the morning. They're like trying to piece it back together. And earlier I said something about the perspective and the colors being wacky. This is the bit. Like in the morning, all the colors are like really saturated and there's like bleed effects on everything. And they even do like weird, I don't know, like again, it's animation. There's no camera, but they do weird like camera panning and stuff as well. Go watch it. It's so out of place in the episode. It doesn't really make any sense.
So weird. Wow. I didn't even notice that. I just noticed that the episode was they said something at the end of the episode. Yeah, the episode was finished and I don't have to watch it anymore. No, they said something at the end of the episode like about not learning a lesson. I was like, basically, I don't know what lesson they learned here. None.
I don't think there is a lesson to all this.
Yeah.
Maybe share
your comic books better or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Nancy Cartwright sounded like she was sick at the end. She had a blocked nose and Bart speaks very nasally. But could be coincidence. I don't know. It's something I noticed.
Nancy, hit us up. We want to know.
Yeah. Nancy, if you're listening, hit us up at crackerfactorypodcast@gmail.com.
Let us know.
Let us know what you think.
Obviously, going back 30-something years for you. So, weirdly, I remember this episode quite well. And like in my head, it's an iconic episode. But watching it, it's pretty boring.
Yeah, it's pretty boring. Oh, that being said, I gave it a pretty good rate. What did you give it? Go.
Yeah, I gave it a C, which
interesting
seems to be a trend here. Giving
my main one was B. I had 2. I had it much higher, but I gave it a B, I reckon.
You reckon?
I said B or A.
What brings it up to B? Like, it actually has a coherent story, which I like.
It has a coherent story. There's a couple of good jokes, like small things like the grenade joke. The 50 cent joke, that 50 cents was a lot of money, was it? No, not really. What else?
I don't know. I mean, again, I'm happy to give it a B, because for some reason I thought this was an iconic episode, but it's just not what I thought it was.
Yeah, I think a B. Let's leave it at B. Let's move on. Last episode, dude. Last episode of the season 2. Wow. Before season 3, and season 3 has got some stinkers, I'm sure. But season 2's done. This is our last episode, Blood Feud. Bart's blood saves Mr. Burns, and Homer sends his boss a nasty letter. Oh, yep. I forgot about this episode.
What, didn't you just watch it like today or yesterday?
I did watch it yesterday, you're right. But what I'd give it, okay. Interesting. So David Silverman, George Meyer, 1991, July 11, 17.3 million, Blood Feud. After Mr. Burns falls ill and desperately needs a blood transfusion, Homer discovers Bart has Burns' rare blood type. Is it a real blood type, by the way?
O negative. I don't think so.
Homer, it's not. Okay, I'm looking that up.
Exceptionally rare. O negative, I think.
You can tell me about your first things in a minute, and I'll look it up. But Homer urges his son to donate, promising that they will be handsomely rewarded. Having received the blood, however, all Burns does is send in a family a card. Enraged, Homer writes an insulting reply, but Marge convinces him at the last minute to not send it. But Bart unknowingly mails it anyway. Mr. Burns becomes furious and demands that Homer be beaten. Smithers calls off the beating. However, on the grounds that his action is no way to thank a man who saved Mr. Burns' life, he convinces Burns to instead buy the family a present.
Yeah, I mean, cool. Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, so kicking the episode off, they're, I don't know, Burns is meant to be at some ribbon cutting presentation thing, but he's not there because he's collapsed at home, which is odd because normally we see it as Smithers basically does everything for Burns, so he would have been there the second that Burns probably collapsed. Like he would have been there to dress him in the morning and give him his breakfast and all that sort of stuff. So obviously they just forget about it for just this moment here.
I can't find anything about double O negative, by the way.
Negative. It's extremely rare. Doesn't even show up on Google.
Yeah, rare blood types. What makes a blood type rare? Yeah, Jesus. I mean, anyway, here's what it is. Emergency warning system, a sign. Oh yeah, so they introduced the whole episode. Burns has just donated an emergency warning system, but it's a sign of when a nuclear meltdown is occurring.
Yes, yeah.
Which is pretty funny. And then the mayor says, "We just want to we want to bring out Monty Burns and thank him for being the mayor." For making this sign possible by dropping the last of his obstructive legal charges, which is pretty funny. So it's not like he donated anything. He just dropped his legal charges for making the sign not happen. Smithers donated a kidney to Burns at one stage, which is good of him. And Lenny and Carl sound normal again. Homer says, "I can't believe you guys." So they're talking about Mr. Burns is dying on the ground because of this thing that he's got, this rare blood issue. You can't find double O negative blood.
Excited about him dying,
Yeah, they're ecstatic. And Homer says, "I can't believe you guys. There's a human being out there with millions of dollars and you don't want to cash in," which is pretty funny. And then we find out that Lisa's shoe size is 4B, that isn't a shoe size, is it?
What the hell's the letter mean?
I don't know. That's
no,
what else
actually, yes, it does. No, I do know what the letter means. That's the width. But B is like really narrow. I think D is like the standard width.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Well, it changes depending on where you are. So in the US, I think their standard is D, but then it goes like further in the alphabet to get wider, and then below that is narrower and narrower. But then in, I think, like Australia and possibly the UK, our standard width is like G. So, and then it goes the opposite. It's, I don't know, confusing. But yeah,
I did not know
B
that.
is a very narrow foot.
Interesting. But that's because they're trying to, they ask, so Burns tells the family about that, Homer tells the family the issue that Burns is having with regards to his health, and Marge, they said he needs double O negative blood, and she goes, "Oh, that's Bart's blood type." And like, "Oh my God, Homer goes, "We can cash in." And then Marge said, Lisa says, "Do you know any other interesting stuff?" She goes, "I know everything about the kids and my family." She starts naming all these things. Lisa's shoe size is 4B, all this other stuff. And then Bart says, "I'm not donating my blood." And then Homer says, "Bart, it's not like I'm asking you to give blood for free. That would be crazy." And then lying in bed that night, Homer tries to console Bart and convince him, and he says, "Haven't you ever heard the story of Hercules and the lion?" And then he goes, "No." And he goes, "Well, a long time ago, there was a lion who got a thorn in his paw, and Hercules, and no one could get it out. And Hercules used all of his might and strength, and bingo! And the lion was so happy he gave Hercules this big thing of riches." And Bart says, how did a lion get rich?" And Homer goes, "It was the olden days." Bart's like, "Oh." How did a lion get rich? That's a really funny one. Just like also, Homer just goes, "This big thing of riches."
Well, it's like that Skyrim logic where you kill a wolf and it's holding gold and
how did a wolf get rich? A wizard did it.
Yeah.
Which makes sense in Skyrim. But what else? Bart, how did a lion get rich? Homer, it was the olden days. Otto's friends are in school during the day. What? Why is
how
Otto
old is Otto canonically?
Well, we don't know. He drives a bus, so he has to be 18.
Is he meant to just be like a high schooler or something?
Nah, he drives a bus. He's just a loser.
I think Americans finish high schools at like 18 or something, don't they?
Yeah, so do Victorians.
Well, I don't know. Maybe, they get their license
at 18? Oh yeah,
maybe earlier than
no.
18,
Actually, no.
so-
I think Americans are allowed to drive without. You know how we have L plates and you have to drive with a parent in your car.
Yeah, and
They don't have to do that on their
provisional plates
Ls.
and that sort of stuff. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, I don't think so.
again, getting an L plated to drive the school bus doesn't sound right, but yeah. But I guess maybe that's part of the joke of Springfield Elementary. Who knows?
Why did they ask Otto this in the first one? I can't remember why we're introduced to Otto in this episode.
Because he runs the donor bus, so he takes the blood, but also drives the blood donor bus.
Oh yeah, and he says all of his friends are in school during the day.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Burns gets the blood and he starts getting better and he's back at the plant. He's like, top of the morning to ye, everyone. He's all happy and ecstatic and
Rejuvenates him and like makes him feel young again or something.
yeah. And then Burns Smithers tells Burns that it was Homer Simpson's son who saved him. And he goes, let's send him a card or whatever. And then Homer goes to read the card and he goes, it's very thin. Well, maybe there's a check inside or whatever. And he starts reading the card and it's like, thank you for your blood, whatever. And he goes, don't worry, I'm sure he tells us where we're getting, what we're getting and where we can pick it up about the card. And then he reads it and he's really pissed off about the fact that he got nothing out of it. And then he gives Marge one of those speeches where he's like, what does Marge? Marge says something like, oh, you should just be happy. You don't do things for a reward. And he goes, oh, I should be happy, should I? Oh, well, and I guess I should believe that the world's all make-believe. I believe in flowers and bells and leprechauns with little hats or whatever. He starts giving Marge one of those little lectures because he's annoyed.
Yeah.
But anyway, they go. So Homer's really upset. He writes a really scathing letter to Burns saying, like, with Bart, because they're pissed off they got no reward for the blood. And he goes,
dictates it to Bart and Bart writes it down.
Bart writes it and he says, to Mr. Burns, thank you so much for your letter. We really enjoyed it. And you're welcome for the blood. Oh, if you couldn't tell, we're being sarcastic. You
stink.
You stink. Yeah, you stink. You're a buck-toothed old mummy with bony girl arms and you smell like an elephant's butt or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
he's like, they're about to send it. Marge encourages them not to. Homer's like, she's like, sleep on it. He goes, fine. He sleeps on it, has a dream about strangling Burns, and it ends up being a dream about a sandwich or something and eating something, I don't know. And he's like, you know what? I feel much better. I'm not going to send this letter. And he's like, wait, where's the letter? Bart comes in and Bart sent the letter. He's like, what the hell? And they have to go rectify this problem. So the first thing they do is go to the post box that Bart put it in. And he goes, Homer says, don't worry, I've got a little plan up my sleeve. And then he just starts kicking the box, which doesn't work. And then they get a hose to wet all the letters and the post lady rocks up and they have to run away. And then the last joke from this part, which is the best, the
Absolutely
absolute
iconic. Yeah.
probably the best. I said the joke in the last episode was the best. This is definitely the best. I forgot about this.
Yeah.
Homer goes into the post office with Bart and says, hello, my name is Mr. Burns. I believe you have a package for me. And the post office guy goes, okay, Mr. Burns, what's your first name? And Homer goes, I don't know.
And the delivery on that is just so funny.
I don't know. Great plan, boy. Okay, Mr. Burns, and what's your first name? So dumb. So they don't get the thing. There's a Mike Grotch joke in there for some reason. I don't know. They have a Cormo's bar joke from the kids at some stage. I don't know why. It's when Homer's in the bar. Okay, so Burns reads the letter, gets upset, wants Homer beaten to a pulp. He's going to fire him from his job and all that sort of stuff. And Burns is trying to write a book too. Will there ever be a rainbow?
Oh yeah, there's that whole him writing like a manuscript thing.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was the whole episode.
It
but
really has nothing to do with the rest of the plot, really.
or anything ever. Like,
Yeah.
he writes the book and he gives him a free copy of the book at the end, I guess.
Yeah, and is that the payoff for the whole plot?
Yeah,
don't know.
I guess so. Like, that probably didn't even need that. But anyway, I guess they needed some time. They needed to draw out the time. So Burns asks Smithers to get him beaten to a pulp, but Smithers can't do it because he tells the guy to beat him to a pulp, and he's like, wait. And he goes, what? And he goes, don't beat him too bad. And then he's like, okay. And he goes, wait. Don't kick him. Okay. Wait. Call it off or whatever. And Burns says, how did it go? And he goes, I couldn't do it. And he saved your life. And he goes, you're right. And they end up going over and dropping off a present, and they give him a big Burns goes shopping for a bit. There's a bit of a montage where Burns goes shopping for a best present. He goes past all these things, which are way better than the thing he gets. Like, I mean, like I can't remember what, like TV shops, a pool table, like good things, decent things.
Yeah, but like the pool table was, I don't want to turn the house into a bar or something like that.
Yeah, he goes past all these good things and ends up getting this stupid novelty Indian. No, not Indian, like Olmec. Yeah, Olmec Indian head. Mesoamerican Indian head, which is over 3,000 years old. It's massive, and he gets him that. I don't know what they're going to do with it. He drops it off to them as a thank you and says, "No hard feelings." The end.
Yeah, I mean, if he'd told them it was worth $32,000, I think Homer would have been a lot happier.
Yeah, I would have sold it, but
but
hard to sell something like that.
It's an iconic piece because you see that, like, the continuity of that Olmec head shows up in many episodes. Whenever they're like down in the basement, you'll see it in the background.
Basement or the attic, one or the other.
Yeah. So it is good that there's some sort of continuity because of that, because of this episode, which is fun.
Yeah, season 2 is pretty early days, so it's cool. That's it. That's the season. What did you think of that episode?
Marge tries to find a moral of the story at the end there, and it's
there is none.
Refuting everything.
Yeah, they ended up getting a present. The present sucked.
I guess it was just some stuff that happened.
Yeah. Literally just, well, no, it actually was just some stuff that happened, but some of the stuff was quite funny, including that one joke. That post office joke is probably the best joke of the season, I would say. Would you agree?
It's very iconic. Yeah, it's a very iconic moment, scene as well, like quoted very heavily.
Yeah, although they did have a couple of good, like they had Bart Gets an F, they had the Thanksgiving episode, they had Itchy, Scratchy and Marge, they had The Way We Was, Principal Charming, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? They had that episode too with the brother, so that's pretty iconic. So they had some good, they actually did have some good episodes this season. What did you think of this episode? What would you give it?
I had a tough one doing this one because that Mr. Burns post scene carries this episode.
100%.
Without this, like, I don't know if it would be much better than like a rock bottom, really. So, like, I said it's a bit of a stinker and I put it in C.
Wow.
Really? What did you do?
What do you think I did?
I don't know. You tell me. What did you do?
Okay. Well, I didn't put it in S, but I put it in A.
Really? Right. Let me look back through the notes. Okay. So if we take the without the Mr. Burns post scene, what is this?
Okay, well, let's. It's still got. Let me give you another one. It's still got the Hercules and the lion joke.
Yeah,
that's pretty good, man. That's a pretty good joke.
It's funny. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It was the olden days. What else? Don't worry. I'm sure it tells us what we're getting and where we can pick it up. It's all right.
Yeah, that was good.
It has the bit where he says,
"Don't give one away for free," because that's crazy.
Yeah, that's got that joke with Spart. It's got the part where Homer starts kicking the thing. As I've got a little plan up my sleeve. It's got the It's got the part where he's like, "Oh, I'm living in a world of make believe with flowers and bells and leprechauns with little hats," which is pretty good. I like those rants that Homer goes on to Marge. I don't know, man. Like, it's got some good jokes.
Okay. Without that post thing, would you watch this episode again?
I wouldn't put it. I reckon this is probably the most apt one where I concede and we bring it to the middle and put it a B. I feel like that's the most apt one.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't go out of my way to not watch this, but a lot of that is just because of the post joke.
Yeah, the post joke is absolutely iconic.
It carries the episode by itself. So yeah,
it's just so stupid. What? Okay, Mr. Burns, and what's your first name?
I mean, the delivery is just perfect. Like, it's so dumb.
I don't know. Imagine recording that line. Oh, anyway, that's great. Wow.
B?
B. Let's put it in B. And that's a wrap for this season, Isaac. Like,
we're done.
Season 2's done. That took ages.
It took us a very long time. When did we start this? Probably like February.
I don't know, but I feel as though, probably February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Nah, probably not that late. Maybe May.
Yeah, maybe. It did take us a long time.
Season 1 felt like it flew by. Season 2, Jesus. And Season 3 has an additional episode as well.
Oh, God. When we get to Season 3, we'll also be skipping the Treehouse of Horror episode because we'll do them in October.
Yeah,
yeah. We'll
I'm just looking
probably
through. I think we'll do a few of them. I think we'll do up to like seasons.
We'll probably skip a few seasons ahead just so we have more Treehouse of Horror episodes to do. Because otherwise it'll be very short because we take a long time to get through these.
There are some terrible episodes in this season, though. I'm looking at there's an episode Homer at the bat, and that's the one where Homer's like, "I asked you to shave those sideburns."
Oh yes.
Oh, sorry. Did I say Homer? Burns. My God, I'm all over it today.
Yeah.
All over the shop. There's not.
I knew what you meant.
Season 3, man, is pretty stinky, but I guess we'll get there. We'll get there.
I guess we'll do a similar format. We'll break it up into roughly groups of 7.
Groups of 7, I think.
Seems to be the way.
This one took us 3 hours. It's probably quicker than the other ones, but I think we need to smash through these quicker even in the future. Maybe we do set 5 episodes at a time. I don't know. I'm happy with the length of these podcasts. Like, I feel like
some of these episodes are
look at the first few. When Flanders failed, it's quite an interesting one if you watch it again.
Oh, Radio Bart's good. I like Radio Bart.
I don't remember what Radio Bart is.
That's going to be to like episode 2. It's when he's pretends to be stuck down the well.
Oh, yeah, I remember the idea behind it. I remember Marge goes to a local spa. She leaves Bart and Lisa and Patty's on with.
Wow. Black Widower. Got a Sideshow Bob one. Okay. No, brother, can you spare 2 dimes? Cool. We get Herb back as well. Yeah, look, there's some episodes in there. We might be pleasantly surprised by some of these other ones. Maybe
actually, I saw something recently on social media where they're bringing Herb back for another episode.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, season 36 or whatever they're up to.
Yeah. Yeah, which is interesting. When will we get to season 36? Look at this rate, maybe when we're 46. I don't know.
Yeah, did we say like 2030 probably at this rate?
Yeah, 100%.
2 seasons a year. So it's going to take us a while.
We'll probably get through 3 seasons a year. My God, 10 years time. Yeah. That's all right. We'll get there. Season 3 kicking off, I don't know, in the next few weeks. Otherwise, season 2, I'll be putting this up very soon. So enjoy, people, and hit us up. Enjoy listening to it. And
better tell people about our email. What can people email us about?
It's crackerfactorypodcast@gmail.com. Get around it.
I don't know if we have anything to write in about at the moment. I mean, we get lots of questions, and maybe we'll have to do a Q&A episode sometime.
I've got a recent few emails from a few Spanish viewers. Just say hola to our Spanish viewers out there.
They actually make up a surprising portion of the they do.
Yeah, it's a few Springfieldians as well. Hola to you guys as well. I actually only know hola in terms of other languages, so if we get any other sort of nationalities writing in, hola to all you guys.
You're like part Italian. What about ciao?
Ciao as well. So ciao might work.
Isn't that also, it's like hello and goodbye, isn't it? I don't know.
It's both, yeah. It is both.
What a confusing language.
Well, buongiorno is more like good morning, I suppose. That's what you'd use rather than ciao.
Oh, okay. What's good afternoon?
Buona notte is good night. Buona sera, no. Buona
noche. But, Italian.
What about, I'm going to Japan soon, and apparently they got like arigato, konnichiwa. They got konnichiwa, they got
gato. Don't say that to say hello to people.
Yeah, well, not that, but they've got like 5 different like good morning, good evening sort of things. They got konnichiwa, they got ohayo gozaimasu. No, not ohayo gozaimasu. They got a bunch of not that.
Yeah. Look, the ones you need to know: hello, thank you, and I'm sorry. Are like the main ones to know.
They've got heaps of hellos. Anyway, we'll do your own research. We don't do a lot of research on this podcast.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, sorry, sumimasen, I believe. So
sumimasen,
yeah.
Sumimasen. Konnichiwa. What else? Yeah, there's other words out there. I'm just going to bring a few palm cards with various phrases on them.
Yeah. All right. Alrighty. Well,
we're signing off.
Done.
Well done.
New episode next week. Yep. Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.